can't turn the fan because it's like 1 billion degrees.
You can do it. Come on,
1 billion
computer.
degrees.
There we
open
go.
Just
Yes, yes.
Use your big muscles,
break
Jeff.
it.
Put that mustache to work.
I'm so strong. You see that? I was counting to 1,000.
You should have put it between your biceps.
Just
Use that
I
neck.
should have ripped it off with his teeth.
Use your neck. Man neck.
Man neck.
Man neck. We got to get Kendra a fake beard or fake mustache when she's on here, because now she's the odd girl out.
I know, right?
Yeah. By the way, for all of you wondering, we are live.
We are live.
Right on.
Is that better?
This is episode.
go.
There you go. Looks like one of the. It looks like a Mortal Kombat mask.
Right.
Get over here.
This is episode 84 of Snakes and Stogies, which is brought to you by the people right below me.
What's up?
The best stash around, and Kendra.
Gendra.
The
I
Kendra.
would say yeah. Someone, Amanda Jones said she'll get you a beard.
Okay.
The she beard.
Gran is here. Miguel's here. Annalie Middleton's here.
Yeah.
All right.
Jennifer Strickland's here.
Mike
Kosicki was here at 8:37. I don't know if he's still here or not. but-
That is early.
He says he set his alarm for 3 a.m. Tuesday for work. Nice.
That sucks.
True patriot of the show.
Ready.
So, the Snakes and Stogies is brought to you by the fine people at Puget Sound Pythons, who happen to be on our show tonight in the flesh. Mustaches
Their
intact.
triumphant
Mustaches
return.
intact.
Yes. We are also joined by a very special guest, the one and only Crotalus Cowboy,
Yeehaw,
Mr.
motherfucker.
Derek.
Cowboy.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
It's so subtle.
So subtle.
What are you smoking upon?
You're talking to me.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody else was smoking anything. I don't know. Oh, who didn't put their phone on silent?
Oh, shit.
Dun,
Fuck,
dun, 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 dun.
All the time.
Hey,
All the
Steve
time.
Poole and Billy Jenkins.
Doing-
Welcome to the show.
Doing another Crown Heads La Imperiosa double Robusto.
Nice.
I really like. First half is fantastic, but I noticed when I smoked one the other night, like the second half, it went south. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. So
Okay.
Gendra has arrived.
That's definitely going on a t-shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, Team
got to.
Gendra.
I love it. Well, so tonight,
We got
I
a bunch
was
of new
actually-
stuff coming in at work, so I'm trying all the new stuff.
nice.
That's
That's
Trying
good.
to.
That's good. I've
Alan
been
Stevens
holding on
here.
to this. Alan
Look at
Stevens is here.
Ooh, celebrity.
And, there it is.
It's
there
his
it
birthday
is.
today.
Yeah.
Nice. Happy birthday, Alan.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Anna Maria is also watching. She says, hola.
Hola.
Hola. Anna Maria actually got me this shirt.
Hola.
I was saving it to show everyone. I break my chair. It's a scientific drawing
Nice.
of a Mojave rattlesnake.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is
Nice.
cool.
That's a cool looking ball python, boy.
Mm-hmm.
What morph
Is that a yellow belly? That's a nice looking ball python, boy.
Oh, fat Lily.
So back to tobacco real quick. I'm smoking a cigar that I'd never heard of. I've never heard of the brand. I'd never heard of the model or anything. It was given to me by a friend, and it's the Sereno Cigar Company, and it's called the Expat.
I had some of the Sereno stuff. It's not bad.
It's a Nicaraguan blend. I actually have the card it came with. Is the filler is Criollo 98. It's a bunch of different 98. It's got an Esteli 98 in there. Blah, blah, blah. Dark chocolate, molasses, hazelnut, whatever. But
Criollo's
it looks-
really good stuff, man.
it looks good.
Smokiness.
It smells good. But what I thought was very interesting is I'd never seen a cigar do that before. Is
What,
there a
that
name
open
for
foot?
that? Yeah, open foot. Is that what that's called?
Like there's no wrapper on it. It's
There's
just
no
a filler
wrapper,
in the
yeah.
binder.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's an open foot, or it's got a double wrapper on it, and that's like a Connecticut underneath whatever the outside leaf is.
Okay.
Johnny
It's
Barrett.
actually, yeah. So that's what's going to be indulged tonight. Is anyone else smoking anything this evening?
No.
Nice, sir.
Is anyone imbibing any adult beverages?
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Hey, there we go. Vices all around.
key lime pie bang.
Bang it out.
Lime
Right.
pie.
It's actually, I was on the fence about it at first, but now it's like one of the best flavors, I think. So
Ugh,
Nice.
key
That's-
lime pie.
I know it doesn't sound. It's like the cucumber lime Gatorade. It sounds horrible, but it's actually stupid good. Like
Okay.
the cucumber lime Gatorade is literally the best flavor.
It does. It slaps.
It's stupid good. I don't even like cucumber, but I will drink a gallon of that stuff. So, what's new, Derek?
Derek.
Yeah.
Oh, free heck is that?
Oh,
Let me
free
see.
hackers.
Pull it
There.
out. Grab it with your hands.
Yes.
If you're a real venomous keeper, you'll just grab it.
I'll just pull it out while I hold my bourbon in my other hand.
Yeah.
Boop the snoop. Come on.
Yeah, as far as what's new, not a whole lot. I am excited about some things coming up that I am collaborating with the Reptile Preservation Institute about, so make sure everyone is keeping their eyes out for some new, cool, exciting things coming out of RPI. And since I'm talking about RPI, of course, I've got to mention the Reptile Preservation Party coming up the Thursday before Daytona. Super excited about
I
that.
believe everyone here will be there in attendance, correct?
Oh yeah.
Very much so.
Yes.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
And Jake. Jake will be there too. Jake is driving with me.
Even
Jake lets
better.
me down, so.
Even better. So, anyone else who's watching, who's still on the fence, get your tickets now. If you don't get your ticket ahead of time, you might not get a plate of food. So, come on now. It's going to be really good barbecue. I know Cody ranted about that last week for longer than he should have.
No, that
But,
barbecue was good.
yeah.
It was when they did Southeast Carpet Fest. It was
It was real
pretty
good.
damn tasty. It didn't last long either.
Not
it
at
was
all.
gone. It was gone real quick. So
Yeah, but other than that, just working on some really cool projects with RPI that I'm excited about. Stepped away from the Rattlesnake Conservancy for the time being. Just some really crazy things going on in my life right now. But other than that, taking care of some awesome snakes here at the house, ever growing my collection as everyone else probably is. But yeah, that's my life right now.
Is this your first time keeping I don't want to say legit collection, but your own venomous collection at home?
an extensive collection.
Yes, it is. I've been working with venomous reptiles since 2017, which is when I started keeping reptiles in general. But this year is when I actually started keeping my own personal collection. So I'm super excited about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And for the upcoming issue of Herpetoculture Magazine, which I am aiming to have done by the end of this week, the feature article is from Derek about Ophriechus smaragdinus, which is the emerald horn viper. Is that the correct common name for it?
Yes, emerald horn pit viper.
Yes, which is really awesome species. That's quickly become sort of one of my favorites. And if I was keeping exotic venomous, that would definitely be at the top of the list, up there with Atheris and all the other stuff, just because it kind of fits my obsession with small arboreal stuff. So
Yep.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I know. I
You know-
actually did. Derek, did you get my message about babies and stuff?
If I did, I probably glanced right over it by accident.
All right.
Wow.
I'll have
We
to.
all
owe-
do that to
you owe
Phil.
me
We do
that.
that to Phil all the
I owe
time.
you.
I know. You owe me a reply. It's cool.
I
It's
do.
cool.
I got you.
You got it. Trying to get on that list, guys. Just trying to get on that list. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying?
I'm
I
just
wish we
trying
could be
to.
on that list.
Look, I've got an adult female right now that I'm super excited about, but as I will mention in the article, hopefully everyone gets to see really soon. They're not something that pops up super often here in the States as far as available to private collections. So I'm hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that in the future, since RPI has a wonderful collection of emerald horn pit vipers, I can get a couple on breeding loan or send my female over to them.
Well, it's interesting because that's a fairly, I mean, in terms, I guess, like the span of time and species, like those are fairly new to us.
Yeah, they were first described in 2015, so we really don't know much about them at all other than habitat they occupy. And Herp MX did a really cool article on not the emerald horn pit viper, but another species in the genus Ophryacis, and they have a really unique neurotoxin, which is super, super cool and not seen in any other species. You'd have to look it up on their website for all the full details, but they're incredible, and we know next to nothing about them.
I mean, do we know, like, seems like there's a lot of people that have them for being so new.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is, I think is pretty interesting. But I mean, do we know is like how toxicity wise, like how hard, like where do they rank? How hot are they?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be a snake that kills me. I've got a bite protocol for them. And like you said, it's interesting because I've seen quite a few of them pop up in the like Facebook venomous groups lately, which, you know, they're endemic to Mexico. And as we all know, you know, nothing's coming out of Mexico. So it's all very interesting to say the least. But they're not something, at least the Ophrys that I have aren't super, and RPI has, aren't super toxic. But yeah, I don't know. I want to get my hands on more. They're absolutely amazing.
I'm trying to see. I guess I can tease the next cover, maybe, if we're down for it.
Hell yeah.
Do it.
Figure out which one me and Billy agreed upon.
So I actually messaged him after you sent me the potential cover photo and bought a print to put up in the venomous room.
Nice.
Up the cover?
Not the cover, just whatever. I think he posted one on his Etsy account. It was like, this one's available. So I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we ended up doing so there was a photographer down in, I believe he's in Mexico, Veracruz, maybe.
Oh, cool.
And he had this shot because typically I'll just go on Instagram and look up the hashtag of that species and see what professional photos pop up. And then message that photographer and say, hey, we have this feature coming up in this article. You know, do you know, are you interested in?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Great color font. I love
interested in letting us use it, and this guy was kind enough to do it. So
that's cool, man. I apparently after talking to some keepers in Mexico, they're really commonly kept down there, which I'm like, I just need a couple more, please.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get this one cranked out and done. And
heck yeah.
It's hard to believe we're going on 22 issues deep already. Time flies. I'm super weird and like secretive about the covers most of the time. So for me to share it early is a pretty big deal.
Well, I mean, this is a special episode. I mean, we have our sponsors on. We have a key article, the lead article. What do they call it? Main article? I don't even fucking know.
Feature.
This is feature article. Yeah. Thank you. All those synonyms. So, but it looks great.
Yeah, I like covering venomous stuff too. I know everyone, you know, a lot of people may not end up ever keeping any of it, but it's still really interesting to read, and you know, especially those being so new and sort of the natural history and stuff behind them. You know, it's an interesting group. But
well, we can't even keep venomous, so we love reading that stuff.
Live vicariously through everyone. Live vicariously through all the Floridians.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
Right? Oh man.
But what's new in the Puget Sound?
We got a Gila, so that's pretty new.
Yeah.
That's a nice one too.
Yeah.
She's super pretty. Yeah, she's super chill too.
Her name is Dolores.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we're eventually going to get a Wyatt for those who have seen the HBO Max show.
Westworld.
That's pretty Dolores and Wyatt. That's our name. You know, maybe in a year or two. Give her some time to settle in. So
cool. Actually, I know a guy who wrote an article on taming one down, so you should go check it out.
That was in like one of the first issues.
It was.
I gotta go back and read it. Yeah.
Other
than that, ball python clutches are hatching out, so some really cool pied stuff.
You know, those pet rocks.
But they're pretty pet rocks. They're super pretty though.
Hey, they're semi-arboreal now. You know, I've seen all the blog
They live in the trees, right? And they need a 8 foot by 4 foot enclosure.
Minimum.
Arboreal hide and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I've found twice, many years apart, at a wholesaler, I found adult ball pythons wrapped around light fixtures like 25 feet up.
That's awesome.
What the hell are they doing in a 25-foot high room?
They got a whole room.
Seems a bit excessive.
I don't know how they got up there, but they did. They couldn't get down. That was the best part. So.
JT from Silent Hill Reptiles is here as well. We were just talking about him and singing his praises on the last THP episode, and as we were talking about it, I was showing Jake his availability list, and there's like little bits of drool just kind of.
He had a little palsy when he was reading it.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of palsy.
I'm just glad Jake's back.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be. It's nice. So Dustin was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still there or not, but he is supposed to be our guest this week on THP. He's got all kinds of geckos and really cool and interesting collection, like really diverse, really cool sort of oddball gecko species and stuff. Some of them I've never even seen or heard of before, so it's really cool to be able to talk about that. And yeah. He is still there.
There he is.
And then we come to find out when we were talking last night to our buddy Chris Painshab about it. He's like, dude, I talk to Dustin all the time. He's such a cool guy. And he had nothing but nice things to say about you. So Phil, on the other hand, he's like, let me tell you about that guy.
Yeah, right. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Jake, we've all turned into colubrid guys. If you haven't noticed, we've all been kicked in the nuts by Morelia so much that we've just sort of like jumped ship.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm just revisiting my roots.
No, it's like we talked about on the episode last Thursday. You know, it's just one of those things where like that main focus project was no longer something that was going to happen within the next year or two. So while we kind of circle back to that as those things grow out, you know, you focus on some other stuff. So
yeah,
we got to see King Rat over the weekend, and that was really cool.
Nice.
Like a big one.
Now I know what I want to add next. It was I think it was a yearling.
Nice.
Okay.
So it wasn't too big, but it was pretty.
Did it go through the full change yet or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
So it's super pretty. I know they're ugly as babies when they first come out, but man,
I think it's cool to see that change though.
Yeah.
Like when you
for
see them as
sure.
babies, you would never guess that that's going to be the same snake. I guess it's similar to a lot of other colubrids, you know, Bairds and stuff. It's like what you see and what the final result is like so wildly different. It's
like our Everglades. They're getting really bright orange now.
They were so ugly.
They were ugly brown.
I was like, Jeff, why do we get these? And he like showed me the bill. I'm like, oh.
give it some time.
Trust me.
Yeah, at the rate I'm going to wind up buying babies from you before I fucking find one.
I did some flipping at my parents' house earlier because it was my niece's birthday, and so I was walking around in my flip-flops, smoking a cigar, running around the woods, flipping some tin with my hands like an idiot. I just had this. I had this feeling. I was like, you know, I'm gonna find a corn. I didn't.
That's great. You literally
Ryan,
had
you
me
windows
on the
in
edge
general.
of the seat.
I got nothing. Didn't even see a skink.
I feel that.
Story of my life. And I'm sure my neighbor will text me tomorrow saying, "Oh, I just found this big coral snake in my yard. What do I do?"
Oh yeah.
It's okay. I just found out what a cut is when herping.
Oh.
They were talking about an NPR podcast for the Patreon, and I was like, "What is a cut?" Because I hear it all the time.
Well, what's funny is I knew what a cut was, but I didn't know how you herp one. Like, it's a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or
not
that too,
thinking like the intricacies of the cut. You know what I mean?
The textures, that there's good cuts and bad cuts.
Yeah.
And
There
the
is.
grades of cuts.
There's mundane cuts and there's sexy cuts.
There's cuts that you look at it and you're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
And there's cuts you look at and you're like, don't
No.
even
even bother. Might as
Yeah.
well be a concrete wall. There's
Or
nothing there.
Or in the case of us at 3:00 in the morning, is that a cut? No, that's not a cut. No, yeah, that's a cut. Pull over.
It's like a 3-foot cut.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Yeah,
very
right.
short cut where it's like, why did you even bother plowing through this? Why didn't you just put pavement over it?
Right. What's funny is now I start looking for we obviously don't have cuts in Florida because it's flat as a pancake, but I notice where they had to reconstruct the landscape specifically for the road, and I'm like, I should pull over and I should investigate that, And sometimes you get there and there's this is just mowed grass or something there. And other times you get there and there's already tin and carpet because other people had the same idea. So. Cuts.
Did you guys get any more action from your Cyanea?
No. They're still hanging out, cuddling in their hide, but
That's
nothing
so
new.
bizarre.
Yeah.
They probably are breeding, but we kind of leave them alone for the most part, unless we're
Yeah.
feeding or.
Yeah, we
Maybe
checked
it's
them out the other day, but
Maybe it's a
swipe at us.
southern thing, like because of where I am, like I could throw them together pretty much whenever I wanted to, and the male's gonna make it happen.
Well, we've been kind of keeping them together for the most part, so
Mm-hmm.
they might be doing things that we don't see. I'm hoping so. How long did till after she did a double clutch? So 120 days almost.
So she the first clutch hatched, and then I want to say it was probably about a week or so after that clutch hatched. The other one was on the ground.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think we're halfway
It
through
was-
still on that one egg that we got.
Yeah.
It's like
ours
turn around
is
immediately, and they were there. They were, So I haven't put them back together. I've been tempted to. I've just been holding off because of the legislation stuff. That from what I've heard through the grapevine is jackass in North Carolina has really screwed up the work that was being done with with some of the senators and stuff here in South Carolina. And I figure by the time I pair them, by the time I get eggs, by the time they hatch, I'll be scrambling to get them, sold and stuff. So kind of in a holding pattern right now. So.
Yes. Somebody just released a bunch of red-tailed boas at a park a little bit down
Nice.
south of us in Washington. I'm like,
Yeah.
Expecting them to survive.
yeah, I have no idea. Someone's been picked up by the news agencies, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
please don't do
no.
anything.
Well, see, it makes you wonder if it is the news agencies doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah.
Hey, run with
that,
this story.
yeah, that one
okay.
journalist who hasn't got a clean story in a while, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to start some drama.
Yeah.
He goes to his local Petco and buys up every boa they have, and some
Yep.
crazy person released a bunch of boas, and this,
I think it was 8 of them they found too. It was,
You should have seen some of the comments though.
Oh God.
Oh, I don't even bother looking at the comments on news articles like that because I know it's just going to be enraging.
What if they were
It's a bunch-
pregnant and they released 60 babies each?
Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Because you see all those people that are like, oh, they need to kill them all. This is,
Yep.
this is they'll crawl into your bed and eat your babies and
But the cats are fine.
right.
Oh yeah.
But the feral
At least
cats.
it's
Feed,
cat
feed
problem.
the cats. We need more of them. Gosh, I hate it.
Yeah. So I don't know. What I've been told is South Carolina, it sounds like, will be attempting to follow North Carolina's lead. And that's really frustrating because there's been a group that's been working very hard to try and at least get some sort of house-made rule. If we're going to get rules put in place, they're trying to make it so that we're the ones making those rules so that they're at least somewhat common sense, And I don't know. It's really frustrating. And everyone keeps saying one person couldn't possibly ruin it for everyone. It's like,
Prime
it's
example.
a high enough profile incident. Yeah. It's just, there's this. So I've come to the conclusion that there's this certain sort of perfect storm of scenarios that have to happen for something like this to happen. There has to have enough traction in the media. It has to be enough involvement with the public, i.e. something getting out. And it has to be something exotic and ridiculously toxic. And here we go. All 3 ingredients are there, and it all happened exactly as it was going to. Yep. So I have my Boiga. I don't really know. I don't want to get rid of him, but at the same time, I feel like I'm probably going to end up having to. And I may just do it just because if I'm going to be sitting here sort of just waiting, that's space I could be using for some other stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Yeah, that's a tough decision.
It really sucks.
It's a scary thought for sure.
If you
Yeah.
did get rid of them, what would you add? More Bairds?
Of course. I don't know. So right now they're in my big Cambro rack, and I moved over some of my younger chondros into that bigger Cambro rack now, and moved the rhinos into those tubs because the 6 quarts just were a little too small for them, and they like to climb and stuff. So just been moving things around a little bit, doing the shuffle, but I don't know. I mean, there's talk of like the Tannenbar going to someone that can breed him. Don't know what happened, what's going on there yet. Because I feel like I have to sort of consult with Phil on that as well, because it was originally his snake and he gave it to me, and I would feel bad for just being like, here you go, man. So
is there anybody really working with them?
Well, that's the thing, is like I have a really nice patterned exanthic male, and I know of a couple of people that have, at least a pair or some females and stuff, and I'd like for him to go to somebody where they're going to breed him and like help Tannenbars get reestablished sort of back in the hobby a little bit. And I feel my chances of finding a female for him are probably going to be pretty slim, at least one that's going to be old enough. Because I don't know how old he is. I kind of feel like time is of the essence as far as him, since he's an adult and everything. So I don't know. I want him to go and David Means. I don't think they're doing scrubs anymore. I think David got out. But
Yeah, but see, the problem is that there are people producing Tannenbars. They're just not releasing the babies to anyone. And if they are, it's only to their Illuminati friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem.
But then we're looking at a minimum of 4 years before it's even ready to breed. Like even being able to think about breeding it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is you go and you give the snake. I mean, regardless of money or whatever, the snake goes to someone else that's going to breed it. Is that person going to release the babies? Was it a waste?
Yeah.
You know
Is
what I mean?
anybody importing them, or
No, they used to be imported a lot. From what I've in talking to Harlan and stuff, he said they used to bring them in all the time. Nobody wanted them. They were they were like the IJs back in the day. Like tons of people brought them in. They were super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted them because they're these little tiny scrubs that are complete assholes.
just like Duns and Savus, nobody wanted them.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think what it comes down to too is that the islands in which they come from are not frequented by the field collectors. They're not frequented by the reptile farmers. So it's not beneficial for them to make the trip, so to speak. I mean,
Right.
And collect them or harvest them or whatever. So there's plenty of other.
If the importers aren't wanting them, the people aren't going to go to the island to catch them, because if they're not going to get money off of them, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why go catch something that no one's going to buy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. I actually looked at flights going in there just out of morbid curiosity. And from what I gathered, somebody's going to probably correct me, but from what I gathered, there is no direct flights because there is no international airport. You basically have to fly to a major Indonesian city and then wait, 4 or 5 days until a small, 2-prop plane goes to the island. And then that's even worse. So let's say something happens, you get stuck there. You have to wait that 4 or 5 days or that week until another plane comes.
Yeah.
So
Ryan's right though. I know Nick's got some Tannenbars, but I don't know about Young.
He probably does.
Probably.
If Nick has them, Ryan probably has them.
Yeah, I have a pretty good beat on who's got them. It's just a matter, like I said, Phil has some say in it, in my opinion. Whether he thinks he does or not, he does. So.
all right, we'll figure it out. I'll be honest. At this point, now it's like a personal challenge to find a girl.
That too. I haven't seen them at all. So
Hey, Daytona's coming up.
hey, you never know.
You never
Well,
know.
the thing is I'm also doing sort of the space shuffle right now in the room. Like I need more. I need at least one more rack, just for colubrids, like rat snakes, corns, and beards. And my big male Brettles cage is right in a prime spot where I could fit at least 2 racks. And so now it's a question of like the Tannenbars in that cage. If he goes to someone else, that opens that up. I would like to move the Jansen Eye into the black box XT4 that I have the scrub in right now. But I want to get UV in there, and I'm really want to focus more on sort of cracking those and figuring those out. So I don't know. I don't want to get rid of the Brettles, but I'm also at a point where I kind of might have to. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Just open up a facility. You'd be all right.
If I could just convert this garage, that'd be perfect.
I was like, just blow out another wall.
Yeah,
Just
that would be
extend the
awesome.
room.
You can keep the podcast set up there and everything.
A certain ball and chain
Ouch.
will not let me.
Ouch. Dude, you talk about me like that? Damn.
No, not ever. No.
Oh boy.
No.
Yeah, I just did some rearranging too because I had to get more tubs for stuff and move stuff around. And luckily, Anna Maria is a good sport. She's going to help me play Tetris.
Nice.
And so I think this weekend, her idea is brilliant. Is go in there and don't touch a single snake. Just take everything out of the room that doesn't have an animal in it. Throw away, rehome, whatever caging boxes, crap that's in there. Clean, then we can play Tetris and move stuff around geometrically,
Smart.
and then just go from there. So
Nice.
I'm hoping for this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, it sucks because I'd love to have some V70s, but that room is just not that big, and V70s just they're too awkward and they take up too much space. Literally, into the middle of the room. If I put V70s all on that wall, I'd probably have next to no space in the middle to move around. It's not a big room, and the ceilings aren't very high, so it's quite the.
Yeah, I love the craftsmanship of my Sea Serpents V70, but I hate that rack.
I love those size tubs. I just wish
awesome.
there was a way to do them horizontally instead of.
I know.
Out.
Oh yeah.
But all the rack makers will pretty much tell you it's going to sag if you do them long ways.
Yep.
In the middle, you're going to have a bow. So.
That makes sense.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
Expand into the
Struggle's
living
real.
room.
Expand into the living room. I love it. That's good.
We did.
That's what we did.
I have the pair of thorn scrubs from Chris, my incubator, and that male Davis Bairds that are in quarantine in my closet right now, and even that is not appreciated by certain parties. So
Tell you'll get rid of those, and then you'll open up the garage. You'll be set.
at one point, I think there was the negotiations for trade were a baby for the converted garage, and I said no deal. That seemed a little unfair.
Yeah.
It's so.
Well, I think that if you sacrifice the snake room, you should just get the garage.
Yeah.
I feel
she
like
has
that's
the room.
Yeah,
Run with whatever ideas she has.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants with that room, and you can put the garage is yours. That's it.
See,
And
the
you
no
promised an
ends
issue
entire
is
weekend to help her with it.
it would have to be I'd have to insulate it. I'd want to at least run one air duct into it so the
Worth
AC
it.
can reach it.
A door sweep.
The garage door, a door sweep. Yeah. And then
Nice, Jeff,
all
nice.
the stuff we have in here, where the hell's it gonna go? We don't have a shed or anything, so
Yeah.
go half and on a small building with brats. There was a point in time where we actually talked about doing that. It just never happened.
Yeah, is
Or
renting a
just
spot
clean
pretty
your
expensive
garage
out there?
out.
Yeah, that too.
Probably,
Clean the garage.
yeah.
Get a storage unit for all that stuff.
Or as Billy said, get a she shed.
Shit.
I tried that too. Didn't happen. It's you can do whatever you want with your shed. Nope. Negotiations have broken down since, so I've more or less given up on trying. I think what the plan was is whenever we move out of this house, we'll just get a bigger house. The next one will be
There you go.
bigger, and then and I'm well, if that's fine and dandy, but what am I supposed to do in the 10 years until that happens?
Yeah, you have a podcast studio. You'll have the snake collection in a facility.
Yeah, it's
One
true.
step at a time.
Sorry, Bill. He said he needs a separate facility. Also, he said my wife said she's not sure she wants me listening to you anymore.
Such a positive influence.
I like it. It's good.
Oh man, that's amazing.
It's good.
I don't know. I'm pretty lucky that I can because winter comes and I put all the colubrids for cooling in the closet on my side of the closet, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on my side. And cool them off in there. And I usually don't tell her when I'm doing these things. I just do it.
That's for
And
forgiveness.
that's right.
There you go.
And so I get away with that. So she just once things start going beyond the room, that's when I hear about it. That's when it's like, you know, you have a whole room. Why can't you keep it in one room? And I'm like, there's quarantine. Like, you don't understand. And she, you know, she doesn't get it. She's like, what could they possibly get? And I'm like, oh, there's a lot. Believe it or
Dr.
not.
Wyman on, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, I was telling Jake because he got some snakes in with those thorn scrubs and the Bairds that I got. And he's like, you think, because the stuff he got was captive bred. So he's like, you think it'll be okay in there with that wild caught stuff? I was like, honestly, dude, I have more faith in the wild caught stuff being cleaner than most captive stuff at this rate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have to worry about crypto coming from wild snakes in that case. You know, it's like, just sadly, that's where I'm at with a lot of that. It's like, these are going to have less issues than, you know, some of the stuff I've gotten from, you know, underground.
I will say this though. I feel like maybe it's because of social media and the ability to communicate with our community better. But I feel like 20 years ago there was no quarantine. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? And
Nobody knew why the snakes were dying.
What I was going to say is, at the same time, I mean, I know very few people. I do know people, but I know very few people who have had, oh, I got the snake and the whole room died. You know what I'm saying? And I'm wondering if now things are I'll tell you, it ain't that the sanitation got better. It ain't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around why. Maybe it's because we know about it, so it's constantly in our face, or we're constantly talking about it.
Right.
But, you know, 20 years ago, nobody quarantined anything.
I'm sure some people did. It just wasn't as extensive.
You did because you didn't want it to have mites. But like,
right.
Crypto was a thing, but like it wasn't a thing like it is now. You know what I mean? Maybe the fear wasn't there. Maybe, and people just got lucky. I don't know.
I tell you what, the fear is definitely there now. I had 2 of my venomous mentors lose huge portions of their collection, and I sat down and did the math of how much money I have into animals in my moderately small collection right now, and I was almost sick at how much money I've spent on just animals. And if I came in here tomorrow and they were all dead, oh my God, I'd probably be done with the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, how do you start? I mean, you could start back from zero. It'd be so hard, though. You know, you have to go through all those hoops again, and the years and years you put into like these things.
Right, and don't get me wrong. I worked for a facility where almost 300 animals died in the course of 10 days.
Boy.
Yeah, and so don't get me wrong. I've seen it firsthand, and at the same time, terrified to go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Holy cow.
Like I touch the doorknob, I can't go home. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that was so rare, or at least in the public eye, it was incredibly rare. So I don't know.
That's like worst case scenarios, which I mean, that's the case with hurricanes and tornadoes. Like obviously you're going to hear about the absolute worst thing that happened to, you know, certain individuals during a certain period of time. You know, like Jeff and Kendra, I can only imagine. I mean, I'm paranoid with a collection of like less than 60 animals, and I say paranoid in the healthy sense, to where if I'm thinking about getting something, I ask myself, A, is it worth putting everything at risk? Like, is it worth taking the chance when I've put all this time and money and you know, blood, sweat, and beer into this collection? Like, is that animal worth it? And I've become a little more picky about sort of who I get animals from now at this point, and I just think that's especially chondros. You know,
even going to shows too. Like you can bring stuff back from that.
Oh God, yeah.
Like we're so, like, I don't want to say paranoid, but like we're pragmatic and we're proactive about our quarantine process and the procedures because of that. Because you just, you know, you could get it from a trusted friend, but you don't know where that, like if they got something in from somebody you know, that might be untrustworthy. So it doesn't matter who we get stuff from. Everything goes through quarantine.
Yeah, we have another snake room upstairs just for quarantine.
Yeah.
Because after we've been to show, everything goes back in there. I don't trust nobody.
Everything gets sanitized. Everything goes into quarantine. And that whole cycle starts again for every single animal.
Especially when you see all these YouTubers and then people on Facebook opening up a new snake and
In their
Main
snake.
Street.
No, man.
In their
Oh,
snake room.
God.
Like, look at the snake I just bought. Like,
Yeah.
are you
Unboxing
fucking
videos.
kidding? Yeah.
It's like one of those
Yeah.
glitter bombs for pathogens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
no kidding.
I could just see it, like with the tabs of the box come open and they take the styrofoam off, and I could just see it just like
Yep.
LeBron out of the box.
but I put it in the quarantine tub.
Yeah, but I put
Yeah,
it in the
yeah,
quarantine
exactly. Oh my god.
in the quarantine rack in my main room.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's funny
Why?
because I got baby Nova guineas for Billy, and the male is not been eating. And I said, you know what? Let me just give it back to Billy. Let him work his magic. See what he can do. So Anna Marie and I went over there.
And a horse.
Yeah, right. Anna Marie and I went back there last week to hang out and just have an overnight trip. And I hand him the deli cup, and he's going to walk into the kitchen. I said, "Oh, it's from the island of Papua New Guinea. It was living underwater for a little while. I don't think it has mites, but go back to the other room." Because it's one of those things. Like everything that lives in Papua New Guinea loves to sit in its water dish. That's a fact, right? But I don't know if I've had mites before.
Everybody
So-
has. Yeah.
Those
But
are the least
again-
of my worries at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
but
kidding.
still.
Like,
but
mites I
it's-
can
Mites you
handle.
can kill, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's hard to do it when you've got hundreds of snakes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you have a quarantine procedure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I
But,
treat
like-
everything preemptively.
Yep.
Everything is
Regardless
fine.
of if I see them or not, I'm gonna I don't spray the animal directly with Frontline anymore. I just do the paper towel, let it dry and air out a little bit,
Mhm.
and then repeat. 4 or 5 days later, and that seems to work fine. I don't, that stuff is great and all. I'm a little weirded out about. Just ask me about mites.
Speaking of mites, I do want to say I had a friend send me a screenshot from a YouTube video just a couple hours ago, and someone was spraying permethrin directly on their snakes. Please don't do that. Please don't
What the
do
fuck?
Yeah, seems like a bad
Oh
idea.
my god!
Yeah.
That's like huffing bug spray. Like, you think that's good for you? It's definitely not good for your fucking animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
Some
I will
people are
say
probably
this.
into it.
It's yeah, right.
You're right. You're right.
Someone
in
Sorry.
Florida,
I don't
I'm
want
sure.
to
Yeah,
shame.
someone in
I
Florida
don't
is
want to
definitely
shame.
doing that.
Whatever.
Oh yeah.
Brown bagging it.
That deep.
Oh, so I recently found out. I'm gonna come back to quarantine in a second, but I recently found out why the Florida man thing is so prevalent. I didn't know this, but apparently Florida is one of the only states that has open arrest records. So, like, if you get in trouble and you go to jail, it is public knowledge what you did.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, actually,
That's how
yeah,
it is in South
yeah.
Carolina. I go and
I
look
see
at
that shit
mugshots all the
You
time.
can
I
see it
call
on
looking
the
at the
booking
yearbook.
records.
Yeah, but looking at mugshots is one thing. I'm talking about like every detail of what happened is public.
Oh yeah,
record.
that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
like
see all
so
those
that
crazy fucking news stories from dudes in Florida.
You see the charges here though.
it's the Sunshine State, kids.
That makes selling firearms fun, right, Phil?
110%. 110%. But what I was going to say is I actually wanted to pick Derek's brain too because I have a bug on me. Excuse me. It's difficult for me. I actually have in the venomous room. It's one side is quarantine, the other side's not because I can't have a quarantine room. I'm not allowed
Yeah.
because I only have one room certified to possess venomous.
Mhm.
So I have double sets of hooks, double sets of hemostats, double sets of tweezers. I have 2 spray bottles. I have, you know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, it's impossible to a certain degree. Like I still touch the doorknob, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like I wear gloves with one side and I really don't wear gloves on the other side. But again, I try to do my best in that regard.
Right.
But if I get a fruit fly infestation,
Oh, dude.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be extra
So-
careful who you get it from. Then
Yeah. So that's
Well, I
a
mean,
big
is
deal for me.
how do you guys quarantine venomous stuff compared to how you quarantine, Morelia or anything else? Like, what do you guys do that would be different? Because I mean, if
Well-
it were me, even with spraying like the substrate or paper towel or whatever you're keeping them on, if you have something arboreal like Bothriechis or something,
Mhm.
kind of spinning your wheels. Like, how do you go about treating the smaller arboreal or even mambas for that matter? I guess that may be a little different, but
Well, you would.
But-
To me, I treat them the same. I treat them exactly the same as non-venomous. My only problem is I can't put them in a different room.
Yep.
That's the only problem.
Yeah, it is all super scenario dependent, depending on who you are, what you have, the size of your collection. I will say the ideal situation that we all want to be in, I'm sure, is you have a separate building to quarantine your animals in. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know many people who can afford that. And I'm in the same boat as Phil. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I'm in the same boat as Phil. I have one venomous room, and I had to work very hard to get this, 8 by 12 space, maybe. So when it comes to quarantine, I don't even want to call it quarantine. I bring animals in. If they're hot, they have to come into this room because I don't have another space to put them. And, I could be the responsible keeper and do things like test preemptively to see if they test positive for something like a nido, crypto, adenovirus,
Paramyxo, whatever.
Paramyxo. So, do the responsible thing, test your animals, and then try to isolate them as much as possible. But there's only so much you can do. Yes, you can wear gloves, you can sanitize all your equipment. But like Phil said, you get forage flies or fruit flies in your room, it doesn't matter. You can be sanitizing everything every day. It's not going to help. So it's just, at that point when you've only got a small space to work with, there's only so much you can do. And even then, it may not be enough.
I had never even thought about those being a vector until Dr. Loftman had talked about it with crypto and stuff.
Mhm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I, for whatever reason, just never crossed my mind. It was like, that's like the perfect vector for that, for anything, really.
Well, what I think, yes, they're the perfect storm, but I think the one thing that caught me off guard was we don't pay attention always, and we're using the same hemostats to feed one animal to the other. Yep. They miss and bite the hemostats, but better yet, how many times in the venomous world have you used hemostats to spot clean a cage? You're sliding hemostats in the side of an enclosure. You grab the poop, you slide it back out. You don't have to remove the animal or nothing. And then you're not paying attention. 10 minutes later, you use the same hemostats to feed
something. Yep.
And it's like with our white lips. We use the hemostats to get the water cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you don't realize that. So that's why I have like more tools than anyone should have, and I'm always buying more. Like I can't wait to go to Daytona because I'm gonna buy some of that red line stuff and test them out.
So nice,
amazing,
so nice.
Yeah. Cool, good. I know Matt Most got some, and he's smitten with his. So, but
what I do is I got one of those cereal containers,
and
I have it filled up maybe halfway with chlorhexidine, and I have multiple tools in there, so like different forceps. So if I feed something.
Yep.
And I, like between chondros especially or something that I'm, a little more paranoid about than like the colubers and stuff, put those in, swap it out with another set for feeding something else, and then sort of just rotate them and let them sit in there for a little while.
Now you drying it, and right after before you
get
the feeder, or?
Sometimes. Usually, yeah, I'll just wipe it off my shirt or something.
I love that idea because it's a lot more manageable than what I do. So when I was working at the zoo, we just had a 5-gallon bucket full of Simple Green Pro 5, and every time we worked an animal, all right, we're done with it, hooks, everything else goes directly into that bucket to soak for a couple hours. So that's what I do here. I've got a 5-gallon bucket full of sanitizer that I just chuck everything in once I'm done doing my cleaning, feeding, whatnot. So I like the cereal container idea a lot better.
Well, for like smaller hemostats and stuff, it makes sense, and it has a little hole, so it keeps them all together. And my thing was like making sure I had enough to weight to where I didn't have to worry about the cat potentially tipping it over or me tipping it over. It's in a cart, so it's all sort of contained if it did, but it works out perfectly. And then, once or twice a month, completely change out the chlorhex. And I've been getting that at Tractor Supply. You can get a gallon jug of it for $15.
Yeah.
That's been working out really well.
Yeah, I get it from Uline. I think it's like $12.95 plus shipping from Uline for a gallon.
Yep.
We're about to get a Harbor Freight here. I'm so excited.
Ooh,
nice.
Yes.
Fancy Oh man, but I will say this too: is I don't want to speak for Derek, but I don't acquire venomous often anymore, and when I do, it's something I've been pining over for a while, or and my most recent animals, I got a lot of animals relatively quickly, and what's that?
Scott's comment, Glitterfill. I like that.
Thanks. Excuse me.
Sparkle Wolf.
Yeah, right. What I was going to say is, it's almost peace of mind too that the majority of, if not all, actually all the animals I just recently got are all wild caught, and I had the I don't want to say the benefit. I had the perk of being there to literally open the crate from Africa.
Nice.
And that meant a lot to me because I know that they're not just getting passed around by people.
Right.
Yep.
That crate didn't go in the boa room for a half an hour on accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nice. And to bounce off of what Phil said about acquiring venomous snakes, I'm fortunate enough to where, like, I know a lot of people when they first get into keeping venomous, they go absolutely nuts and get everything they can. I've scratched that itch with my mentors of the more common things, like everything in, all your Bitis, a lot of your cobra species.
Yep.
So and that's why one of the many reasons I think mentorship is super important, because you get that itch scratched to where now I know the animals that I want to bring into my collection. I'm not going to spend $60 on a baby gaboon at
You get
the
to test
Columbia.
drive.
So, yeah, exactly. But and then for those of you who may not know, the market for venomous snakes is super small. So if you have something and decide, oh, you know what, this rattlesnake isn't really my cup of tea, let me try and move it or sell it to somebody responsible. There's not a lot of people you can sell a rattlesnake to and personally feel comfortable about doing so.
100%.
So
100%.
I don't blame Cody shifting gears from selling to the private
Mhm.
sector to just supplying to facilities like at all. Like that's
absolutely.
I've said it before. I'd be so paranoid about selling to some
Mhm.
jackass.
Mhm.
Yep. And that's the way it works. You know.
Because I don't know how I'd feel if I sold a venomous snake to somebody and then they got bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it gets out,
Or it
and
gets
it makes
out,
a
yeah.
huge thing in the news and changing laws.
Or they start free handling it on YouTube.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Not the F word.
Yeah.
I will say this though. It just going back to what Derek was saying about like scratching that itch, is you see the new venomous handlers in the United States. They always have to, when they start, they're like, oh, when I get my license, I'm going to get this or I'm going to get that. And it's like, after so many weeks and months and dare I say years of those species that they loved so much, they don't like them, and they don't care for them. And that is that just coinciding with what he was saying. It's so good to have mentorship because you realize what you do like and what you don't, and it's not yours.
Yep.
You don't have to deal with
Exactly.
I mean, and that begs the question about the market, like for venomous. Like there are some animals that are fairly cheap that you can purchase.
Oh God.
Like Oregon
fauna.
is state next to us, right? You don't need, a venomous handler's license. You don't need to run anything by Fish and Wildlife. You can just own a rattlesnake for $30 off Craigslist, and that blows my mind.
Yep.
Well, I mean, back like 10, 15 years ago, or even a little older, the venomous was always cheap because it was niche. Only certain people could have it. Only certain people wanted it. And, like Scott was saying, they give away more venomous than they sell. And that was the case. It was that we always bought snakes for each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I'm coming over for a beer later. You're gonna be home? Yeah, I'm gonna be home. And I just like bring over baby cobras. And it's like, what is this? Oh, baby cobras here. And that's just because everything was under $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just hung out with your friends and swapped snakes. But now things get a little rarer, things get a little more harder to breed, stuff isn't as available. So now you're plagued with a venomous community in the United States where it's either $100 and it's a dime a dozen, or it's $2,000. No one has it. And
there's no in between.
There's no in between. Right.
You're right. And it's funny you say that.
Derek,
the first venomous snakes that I actually possessed or owned that were mine, they were a gift from somebody because they were like, hey, you got your venomous license. Here you go. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Derek were talking the other day, and he brought up a really good point, and it's actually something that's I've been thinking about a lot lately because it makes me laugh every time I think about it. It's like, remember when you were kids and you were on like the Southeast Hot Herb Society website, and you were like, man, like these are like the elite, like best of the best, doing like the coolest stuff, and then like as you get older, you realize 99% of them are morons.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if it's always been like that, and maybe it's just because we've gotten older and we see these things, or if it has actually shifted from like in the days of old, like, when we were kids, the people that were keeping Venice were like the guys, like they were the most professional, top tier, zoo level, like Cody Bartolini's and stuff like that. And I don't know. Now we see it, and it's like, why do you own that? Why do you have that?
Well, here's the thing too: is I used to love Hot Herb Society because if there was, when I was getting my hours for Florida, if there was a species I was fascinated by, you start doing all your research, right? Excuse me. And I would go on there to look at the bite photos because there was a very extensive library.
Dude, that was a great website
of bite photos. And it was like, you just type in the search, like, you know, blah, 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 snake bite, and it would pop up and there'd be like 2 photos, but those photos were so fucked up. It made you question whether or not you wanted to keep that animal.
Pictures of the fasciotomies, enough.
Oh yeah, 100%.
God,
that was a. I used to spend so many hours on that site, man. That was one of the few sites that actually had a Nishi bite report on it.
Oh wow, nice,
very cool.
And a really gnarly timber bite.
I do miss having the stickers from the Hot Herb Society.
I still have one of the sweatshirts, one of the hoodies.
You have the hoodie. That's cool. Yeah, Scott's saying that there was a bunch
Katie
of
wears it more than I do.
Notable people on there, like David Williams, Brian Fry, Thomas E. So Dr. E.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's just a shift because like the venomous keeper has changed, you know, as a.
I mean, do you
as
think
a stereotype or?
Yeah, I mean, do you think that states should have that licensing?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've personally seen morons in Oregon who bring gaboon vipers to fucking children's shows.
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they don't have a license. They don't have a bite protocol. They, you know, and they just have this fucking.
Well, if you message them and ask them what their bite protocol is, they say, well, hopefully the hospital has one.
Yeah, hopefully the hospital has something.
They definitely don't
Hopefully I can get airlifted out of my house. And
well, so here's the problem is that we've talked about this before. It's an extremely slippery slope, and you give an inch, and they 100% take the mile.
Yeah,
and that's
you are not going to be able to cherry pick how they're going to regulate things.
That's why I like what Brent was talking about. You know, making like a nationalized system. You know, training and things like that.
Yes,
that would be really cool.
Yep. And when I was working with the Rattlesnake Conservancy, we taught the venomous handling courses, and we taught them in multiple states, not just Florida, you know, Georgia, Arizona, California. And as an organization, we taught the private keeping section, you know, in accordance to Florida's regulations, not just because we were founded and started in Florida, but because we really believe that the regulations Florida has in place, they just make a lot of sense. Escape-proof enclosures, escape-proof rooms.
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted,
safety. What?
Yeah, exactly. You know, have disaster protocols,
responsibility and accountability.
What?
No way.
Get out of town.
No, granted, I think the hours requirement is a bit ridiculous. Like, if I can keep mambas and taipans, why can't I keep a mangrove? But the hours aside, everything else, it just makes sense, and I don't understand why more people aren't like, oh yeah, you know what? I want to get into the venomous realm. Why don't I have a door sweep on my door? You know, that might be a great idea.
Never ends, Justin. Never ends.
But see, here's my only thing. I agree with you completely. Yeah. I do. I like the structure of it where you have to have a mentor. You have to gain so many hours. I think the hours are astronomically insane.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. However, I will say this. Sorry, I was clearing my throat. I will say this. There was a rumor that when they rewrote that law in 2016, it was supposed to be 100 hours per group.
Yep. And
they fat fingered to 0 and made it 1,000.
I heard the same.
And they're like, oh, you know what? Just leave it.
Yeah,
fuck them.
Yep.
And that's a problem to me. And I recently had a friend of mine who is a licensed keeper, who is very responsible and has escape proofs to the 9s. Well, he moved. And his license was not up for renewal, and he had to be out of his current house at a certain date and into the other one. Well, because of COVID and everything else, Fish and Wildlife basically told him to fuck off. So he moved his animals, and when it was time to have renewal, he told the inspector flat out, "Hey, listen, I have animals here. I know that you didn't inspect them. What was I supposed to do?" Right. And they basically reply was, "You were supposed to give it to someone else until we came to see it. So if I show up and there's animals there, you're going to go to jail."
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah,
And it's like, right.
rough.
Yeah. So luckily, it was only a couple things, and I took care of it. It's not that big a deal. But
Right.
imagine if it was 100 animals.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
It's
You
rough.
know what I
And
mean?
as someone who's gone through the hiring process with FWC and is still actively pursuing a career in law enforcement with FWC, it's just it's really rough because I do see both sides of it. But like even me personally, I've had my venomous license for almost a year. The first probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 months of that, when I had my first initial inspection, my bedroom was my venomous room because I didn't plan on keeping
All
anything.
of us were.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I had the funds. I was able to have a venomous room in the house. And after I built the room and moved and brought animals into the house, I talked to my investigator, and he was like, I'm not, and of course everyone's different. He's like, because everything's so gray with FWC. He was like, I'm going to let it slide because I know you, I've trusted you. I've been to the facility for TRC stuff.
Right.
But you should have let me know before you brought animals into your facility, because when I wrote up the report for your initial inspection, I put down that you didn't intend on keeping because the room you were using was your bedroom. So it's just, it's a scary thought that you can be hit really hard with regulations because of small things like that.
Right. And in 2011, I was slapped with 7 misdemeanors because they changed the laws. And instead of it saying just venomous, it had to, by law, say danger, venomous, reptile.
Yep.
Wow.
You had to have the scientific name, the common name, and the number of animals in the cage. Now, that was always our protocol, just because we're responsible keepers. That's how it should be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I had animals that were not considered venomous on paper, where it didn't say danger, venomous, reptile. But because it was in the same room and it was next to the actual venomous animal, I was slapped. And I had to fight it, and I never got charged with anything. But I had to fight it to basically say, look, here's your state statutes. This is not a species that is reserved as venomous in this state. And it was a whole big thing. And long story short, nothing ever happened. But it's just the fact that we had to go through that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And at the same time, just to go with your story, the 211 vision fits perfectly in where a trundle bed would be under your bed. FYI.
Good to know. Good to know.
For legitimate keeping.
Of course. Under the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be one of those things where it's kind of an all or nothing thing. Unfortunately, like me hoping that Heloderma and Boiga get taken off of the docket for South Carolina stuff. It's probably not going to happen. It's either going to be everything or nothing.
Yeah,
and I think having like the system that Florida has seems like the most logical. I mean, minus the number of hours, but I think a lot of it should be to separate the serious from the people who just the impulse buyers.
Right,
Yes.
but I'll say,
but
it's not going to stop the impulse buyers from buying it and just doing it.
well, it's also not going to stop the guy in Oregon. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the problem, right? Is like, do we need to make stricter laws, or is something, is our system going to have to be reactive versus proactive? And we have another situation where some kid gets bit by a gaboon viper because this, douche nozzle wants to do whatever the hell he thinks he can do, and bring something crazy like that to a school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm torn because I want strict regulation, but let me rephrase that.
Responsible.
I want responsible regulation, but I want a strict outcome if you are not in regulation. So if you're keeping venomous illegally, throw the book
Yeah,
in.
you should feel it.
Absolutely.
But no gray areas either. Like, okay,
Right.
this is
Yeah.
allowed,
Yeah.
this is not allowed.
Yeah.
Right.
We have
And
people
that's-
in Washington that keep venomous, and they know they're not allowed to, but I'm just praying that nothing bad happens. 'Cause
I mean,
And I mean, how about
There's
this? How about I always dreamed of having a naturalistic Florida vivarium in my living room, and I wanted to have the Nerodia and the alligator gar, and I wanted to put a cottonmouth in there. And when I talked to my inspector, I said, "Hey, can I put a cottonmouth in the living room?" He said, "No." And I said, "Why not?"
God.
He says because it's not in the venomous room, and I would have to deem this room, an escape-proof room, or you would have to have this room marked. I said, well, how am I going to do that? He goes, you need a sign on your front door of your house saying inside danger of venomous reptiles. I said, well, I'm not going to do that. He goes, well, then you can't have it. I said, but it's a native species. I said, you can find it in my backyard. He goes, that's not the point. You brought it into the house. It's captive.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean where you give an inch, they take the mile.
Yeah.
So,
And it's so weird with FWC. And once again, I just want to reiterate, I don't have much beef with the organization as a whole because I'm
neither do I.
trying to become employed with the organization, with the agency. But the fact that like someone like, let's use Cody as an example, who has had his permits for longer than I even knew you could keep reptiles as pets. With our new inspector, they were like, hey, look, the way you have the entrance into your house, you need to change it. You need a secondary containment. And like I said, Cody's had his permits forever. And now all of a sudden they're asking him to change it, or he could face some fines or something like that. It's just, there's so much gray area. And unfortunately, it all depends on where you're located in the state, who's your investigator.
Interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they're very forthcoming with changes, like letting you know, hey, we're making adjustments to some things. Instead, it's like, oh, we changed this like 6 months ago. You should have known.
Well,
I mean,
what
but
they
at
do
the same time, is that their responsibility or is that yours?
Right,
as the keeper?
but well, I mean,
Right,
it's like, I
right,
guess it's one thing to, I guess like some sort of formal announcement would probably be nice, and maybe they do that, but I don't know, to just sort of change these things and then not let anybody know, like. At the cigar shop, good example. Like they upped the age of tobacco, buying age to 21.
Yep.
I heard that. I looked high and low on the FDA's website. No mention of it whatsoever. And so I'm like, is this legitimate? Is it just some states? Is it all states now? Like there was no. I even looked on Google like news. There was no formal announcement that said, "Hey, the age of to buy tobacco now is 21." And it's just like I would think this would be sort of a bigger announcement than it is. Like it's kind of a big deal.
The consequences.
I mean, it's not really for us, but
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, it's interesting too. Is in Florida they sent out a letter. So prior to 2021, if you had a permit with the FWC in Florida for captive wildlife, they would mail you a letter that had all of your renewal papers in it.
Yes.
With your name and your address. It was all pre-printed, right? Yep. They'd mail that to you as a courtesy and say, hey, your shit's expired in 3 months. Why don't you get a jump on it so that our lives are easier?
Yep.
And for the most part, we all did it. Well, a couple months ago, we all got a letter from them saying, we're not doing that anymore. And if your license lapses, that's on you.
Exactly.
So, and to me, there's a classic argument of, if we don't have our stuff, they don't have a job. So why would they want to get rid of our stuff? But that's not the case. Okay. The case is that their job is to enforce the laws. The captive wildlife sector, which is probably less than 100 agents for the whole state, easily less than 100 agents. So those guys and gals, they would just get redistributed to other branches or other forms of law enforcement within the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Yep.
But to us, that's a deterrent. They want us to not have it. They don't want us to have these things. So they're going to do everything in their power, little by little by little, to ban it, or to screw you up so you can't have it. And that's depressing.
Lock you out.
Well, that's not every agent, but
right. And that's the thing is, my inspector's awesome. The guy a county south of me, who was formerly my guy, he's awesome, and they want us to have our animals because not only do they like the animals, they think it's cool, but they like their job. They like being the guy.
I bet you they see some wacky stuff.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's not just
snakes.
Snakes.
A fly on that wall.
It's every animal and fish in captivity.
It is.
So right. So they love their job. They don't want us to lose our stuff, but the commission as a whole, or the people in Florida that quote unquote have a say, they may feel otherwise.
Yeah. I've done a couple ride-alongs with FWC, and I'm working on trying to do one with the captive wildlife investigator, an I2 position. But so for my first venomous inspection, after he left my residence, he told me he was going to inspect some people that were keeping geese. So they have, So they
What?
all
There's those
captive
people.
wildlife. They definitely keep a pulse on, or try to, for the people that are doing it, the right
Okay.
way. It's definitely interesting. And I also want to ask Phil, did you know that FWC has regulations on record keeping? Because I just found that out recently.
100%. So
Yeah.
As far as what, like inventory?
everything.
I need to
I
have
know they have
the-
inventory, but
So whether I get a venomous animal from someone in Florida or for someone out of state, we need to have their address and where those animals came from. So if I buy snakes from someone in Texas, I got to be like, hey, bro, I need your home address and where these animals are coming from. And then I also need to apply for the free import permit into Florida to receive these animals.
Right. And here's the thing is, it's not so much, and it needs to be an invoice of some
Mhm.
kind. It
Yep.
was a gift. Like, so Underground Reptiles gifted me this,
Mhm.
trouser snake, right? And I need a receipt. I need a receipt
yes.
that says this was gifted to me by Underground Reptiles on such and such a date and such a time, blah, blah, blah. And I understand the concept of that, but at the same time, I have cocktail napkins that say, I sold Phil Cobra on this
Right.
date, Bob. And you know
That
what?
is awesome.
There's your receipt.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with that now because I have stuff that's wild caught in Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. How do you put that into your records?
I was gifted cottonmouth from Mother Nature, right?
From Hendry County, Florida.
yes, exactly. So, but yeah, then that's the thing is
will
that
be the
now
key to the city.
So not only do we have to have the import to the state, we also have to have our for lack of a better word, ledgers, our bound book, if you will, of acquisitions and dispositions, right? That's on a yearly basis. Births, deaths, and then if you have class 3, what was sold, what was bought, all that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I mean, but again, that keeps the serious from the impulse, right?
It does. You're right.
Like-
You're absolutely right.
Because at the end of the day, I would rather you guys who are keeping records of the things you're getting, where they're going, what they are, etc., than buying from some guy in Oregon who caught a rattlesnake in his backyard and
Right.
shipped it on over to you.
Yeah. No, and that's it's a really important thing too. And like I said, when I was working for the Rattlesnake Conservancy and we talked about captive management during our handling courses, and the hours, and you're right, it does weed out the people that really should not be keeping these animals. Unfortunately, depending on where you are in the state and who you work with, there are ways around that. People pay for their hours. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it out there.
Oh yeah, I bet.
People
That does not
absolutely pay
surprise
for
me.
their hours.
Well, I guess it should be rephrased to it weeds out the people that are thinking about doing it seriously. Because
Yes.
the ones that don't care,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Craigslist.
And going back to what Smitty mentioned earlier, when I first got involved in reptiles, which was not that long ago, I thought people who kept venomous snakes were like top tier, like they knew what they were doing, super professional. Only like zoological professionals kept venomous.
What the hell happened?
And the longer I've been involved in this industry, I'm like, geez, most people who keep venomous maybe shouldn't be keeping venomous. But one thing that I'm super excited to be working on now, which I'm just going to put it out there, sorry, Cody and Pia, but I'm the one driving this bus now, is being a responsible venomous keeper is super important. And there are a couple different businesses and organizations that offer handling courses. And hopefully very soon RPI will be one of those organizations working on trying to build people to be responsible venomous keepers and following all your regulations. And even if there is no regulation in your state, secondary containment, escape proof enclosures, bite protocols, inventory records.
Set the standard, basically.
Set the standard, exactly. So I'm excited
I
about
like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish fucking Oregon had that. I just hate that state. Like, just, you wipe it off the map, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
Damn redwoods. I think they're so cool with their giant prehistoric trees.
They just
The
want to
tunnels in
copy
them.
Seattle. Like, they're copycats.
I mean, we can get rid of Seattle too. That's fine.
Yeah, downtown.
Keep the rest of the state.
Yeah, I will also say this, just because we're on the topic of the receipts and the record keeping, all that. I've said this before. I'll say it again. There are certain individuals, journalists, who put out articles yearly because, unlike certain other licenses in our country, captive wildlife is public record.
Yes.
So what they do is every year, usually around the holidays, because there's really nothing else going on, they'll post an article about, are there dangerous wildlife living next door to you? Are you sharing a wall with a black mamba? And
It's your next door neighbor, Joe Exotic.
Right, exactly. And what they do is they post a list of every single person on Google Maps, and then they make a dot on your house.
Like you're a friggin' pedophile.
And not only that, but it tells them what you have in terms of licenses. So you can go on there, you can click the link on, blah, 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 paper.com, and you can click the link and it will open Google Maps with all the little blue dots all over the state of Florida. And you can click the dot in your neighborhood and it says that there's Derek and he keeps giraffes. And now everyone knows that, the Crotalus cowboy keeps fire-breathing dragons.
Those would be hard to hide.
They might
like those would be pretty obvious.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's that's an uncomfortable thing too, because like I keep these animals in my own home where I have young kids, and that's, like you said, that's public record. Anybody can look it up and know where I live, and it's something that makes me definitely a little uncomfortable. And even oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because isn't your address public record anyway? Like you can go on to Zillow and get your public records and get who's on, because I used to do that for work. So right, but they
don't need to know what I have indoors.
Right.
Correct.
That's true.
But if the argument is, where do you live? Who owns the home?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing is that if all of a sudden the HOA decides that they don't want me there, they can evict me.
Because of
the
that,
fact that you keep
right.
Yep.
That is totally understandable. Yeah.
It sounds like a discrimination lawsuit to me.
Yeah, exactly. You talk about there being like footage of inside your house and like that being public record as well.
I don't know, because when I get inspected, they have a body cam.
They do have body cams.
And I ask, the minute they come to the door, I watch him. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Wolf, good morning." Whoosh, turns it on. And he says, I am investigator so-and-so, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, blah, 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 blah. And then he'll turn it off. And then he'll say, "Do you want me to turn it back on in the room?" And I say, yes. And he won't show the inside of my house. And then the minute he goes to the door to that room, where it's on the door, it says, danger, venomous reptile, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes and turns it on and walks in the room.
How's it go again?
That's nice.
I like that sound effect.
Yeah. So
they have to do it. They have to do it. At least
right, and I don't mind that. I mind them showing the inside of my house.
Yes,
right.
That's very
true. What I mean? What's the point in that?
Yeah.
So.
No, nobody wants to see all the shitty decor on your walls.
All my unwashed dishes and laundry.
Yeah.
Yep. So. Yeah, the worst was
animatronic bass hanging on the wall. Don't worry, be happy.
Exactly.
Oh, there's the fillet of fish one.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So what I think is funny is, Derek was saying how most of us, when we live in Florida, our first bedroom was the venomous room. I lived with my parents, and my parents were cool enough to, and they knew that they could trust me and be responsible. And my parents were awesome like that. And when the first time the newspaper article came out with the GPS coordinates of everyone's house, I had a woman drop off a 7-foot green anaconda on my doorstep.
What?
Because she saw the article. She saw that I was listed for anacondas on my license, and she said, "My son
rescue.
My son went to the Army. I don't want to take care of this anymore. Here, you already have a license for it. He didn't have a license."
What the?
So I had a 7-foot pissed off green anaconda.
Oh, pissed off.
Yeah. So like
Isn't that illegal?
What do you mean? It was illegal for her son to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, just to drop it off at someone's house.
But
if you're not a designated rescue.
They don't care. It's Florida.
It's the easiest out she could find.
I commend her for not dropping it off at a Petco.
Yeah.
Right? Or better yet, she could have just threw it in a dumpster. Yeah. They do it with babies and puppies.
At a local pet store, somebody dropped off a couple like subadult Brettles as ball pythons.
Nice. Pay ball python price.
Exactly.
Oh man. Man, this show got twisted quick.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about like babies and dumpsters and stuff. Jesus.
Yeah, it's
I
not
know.
funny. Let's not bring that
Phil,
up.
Sorry, it got real dark real quick. You know what it was is that Derek's lights on his timers on his lights all turned off and it got dark.
That's when it took a turn.
That's
Well,
when it took a
come
turn.
on,
Darth
don't blame
Cretalis.
Derek. That's rude.
Dorothy Lapis.
You're talking about me again?
Yeah.
Phil's talking all sorts of shit.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I love it.
Something about babies and dumpsters. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you did miss that one. Oh, Florida. We love you.
The Sunshine State.
The
The
sun
one
shines.
place where you probably could find a baby and a green anaconda in the same dumpster on the same day.
Yeah, that is true.
What's
That is
like
true.
In Washington.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that here either, but
Oh,
that's that part.
True. I like to not think about that though.
yeah,
I
right,
just like to
right.
think everyone likes to smoke pot and drink coffee. So
How
That's
many of those animals behind y'all are ball pythons?
Yeah,
All of
most of them.
I mean, this is my wall.
All ball pythons.
All ball
Okay.
pythons, and we have everything else
Some carpets, some rainbows,
in the mix.
some Domeros boas.
You guys still post stuff where I'm like, I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
every
like
week, it's like, damn.
Oh no, we
Yeah.
did that on purpose. We don't show off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we have content for the next week.
If I remember to post it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my social media guy.
Only in Ocala.
You guys want to see a white lip?
Always.
Yeah.
All right, I'll pull one out. Let you
I
guys
think
talk.
Paul the
The stash protects him.
If I can figure out which is the male.
The baby?
Oh no,
Oh
not
no,
that
the
one. No.
adults. Oh.
I don't know. There's some Bairds that I rarely post, and I keep forgetting. And I'm like, oh yeah, I probably haven't posted this one yet. But at the same time, everyone's gonna be like, probably this, thinking it's the same one I posted last week.
Yesterday was cleaning day for me, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh man, I should have probably made some TikTok video.
You really
I've been
Yeah.
super lazy about the video shooting. Jake wants to bring THP TV back though, so
Oh, nice.
he says that, but he's not the one who has to edit the videos. Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Should we start a super chat to see if Jeff gets bit?
Oh, nice, nice.
It
On a
was
side-
funny. Jake was over the other night looking at everything, and he's like, every drawer was like, "This is a Baird's. This is a Baird's. This is a Baird's." He's like, "How many of these damn things do you have?" I was like, "This is like half the room.
Nice, nice.
It's ridiculous." And
I went out. I had to go out this weekend to buy tubs, and I forgot how expensive tubs were.
Dude.
You know, especially when you buy the nice ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katie always asks me why I have so many, and I'm like, "You don't understand. I can't just throw these away. All right?
No
you
way.
don't.
got-
You never throw
so
away a
much
good
money
tub.
in tubs."
Right? Like our whole garage,
Nice.
just tubs. Just tubs. Jeff gets so mad. He's like, we can't do anything with trash. I'm like, it's storage. I don't want to have to go buy these again. I have.
It's crazy how light that snake
Satin
is.
demon.
It looks so
That's-
light though. It's crazy.
Yeah. You afraid? Yeah, you
Yeah.
yeah. Know. I got the boy.
That's awesome.
Not all white lips are created equal.
Yeah,
No.
you're right about that.
I will
Alright.
not do this with most of ours.
Our young male, he's the devil. Like he, no matter what you do,
He's the
he just-
stereotypical white lip.
yeah, he just wants to kill.
Yeah, that's
These ones
amazing.
are chill though.
I will say, for me personally, next to Apodora, which I know y'all now have, the white lips are absolutely my favorite pythons.
See, we were talking about them in the little group chat last night, and I don't know. Like, that's a species that they're cool, but I don't see myself ever getting any just because I just
Apodora or white lips?
white lips.
I do. I miss my white lips.
Dude, I don't know, man. As much as I love carpets, dude,
I already have a
my fuscus are growing on me big time.
I
I
need
have a
Fuscus.
Yeah.
quote unquote
100%
tame
agree.
Tannenbar.
You do have a tame Tannenbar.
I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks just looking at those because they make me think of the demon in my room.
These guys are fine.
According to Cox, it was Korea.
Oh.
Oh man. So Gendra, why don't you, one of you guys pull out the stream light? Let's see if we can get some iridescence.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
The stream light.
She has
Yeah. Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
You got the light on you, babe?
Oh.
Took it from me? Yeah, because I was fidgeting with it.
See,
Oh, no,
it's also kind of funny that like
Oh.
I don't have any desire to keep those, but I'm like all
Oh, it's
about
hard
some
to tell.
Gonyosoma.
Justin, can you put them full screen so we can see the iridescence?
Yeah. Try to get her heads in it.
Look, he's like, oh, hello.
Oh, nice.
It's like, I
What if
can
they
mount
just?
that.
What if they started locking up right there?
That would be okay. I'll
Man,
take
they're
it.
so hard to breed. Just pull
Like
them
we
out,
have
put the
to
light
leave the
on
room
them.
quietly.
I mean, they get along. They probably lock up, but we just don't see it.
What's
Yeah,
crazy
they're
is
very shy.
the snake that has the light on it isn't the one showing the iridescence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you
look
can
at
kind of
that.
see
That's
it.
nuts.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely beautiful.
yeah. This camera is not doing it justice. I'm sure.
No,
Do you guys
100%.
notice any difference in terms of behavior between those and the golds?
Oh my god, we get that question like every week.
It all depends on the individual snake. I mean, we
Yeah.
have
That
more
makes
than
I mean, they're more or less the same though. Like you don't notice any major differences between the two.
No.
Not really. I think it just depends on like
These
how
have a
you
lot more
handle them, how
confidence.
you keep them, where they came from, what their background is, like how you tame them.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of people who just do the hook, and
Jeff was about to lick it. What's he doing?
I will say this with this species in particular, it seems like they do not enjoy being hooked, like at all. Like unless you're like pulling them out of their enclosure, like we were just doing, but they do not like that. The texture of the hook.
I think confidence is key though with these guys. If you
Yeah.
hesitate, if you're
Yeah.
like unsure,
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
think, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
Trying to eat me type thing.
It's like prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Try to
that's
walk
so-
up in there like, I know what I'm doing. Been here a few times.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a tight grip on me now.
Yeah, but they're cool.
Super impressive.
I'll put them away. I don't want to push my luck too much.
I know.
So-
I'm like, he's eyeballing me right now. Like he's gonna.
Is that a
suck on
sub-oc,
my
Derek?
arm.
Yeah, Derek.
It
Is
is
that
a
sub- Is that the silver?
No,
My
this
sub-oc
is
senses
the-
were tingling.
The triple het. Apparently, this little boy is het for albino, silver, and blonde. So we'll find out. I've got one female, unfortunately, but I'll be pairing them up as soon as they are of size.
Nice. Awesome.
But going back to the white lips, I've got kind of a funny story. About probably 2 months ago now, the individual who I sold my female gold phase white lip to messaged me, and they were like, hey, my adult male white lip has some stuck eye caps and we can't get him out of his enclosure. Can you come over? So I went over and I was like, all right, cool, I'll just use a snake hook in my hands and we'll get this done. And I got him out, and I was like, maybe I should have kept my white lips, because apparently these people are a little bit too afraid of their snakes. And I think about that every day.
So you got it back, right?
Oh God, no! I wish, but I really needed at the time the money that I was selling those white lips for, because I was trying to build this venomous room. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah, Middleton has the sub-oc bug now too.
he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
He also messaged me about some centicollis a while back as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
This one's got some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How about them Gonyosoma?
Gonyosoma. I almost pulled the trigger on some hatchling Jansenii at Underground a while back, but they were gone before I could even make a decision.
That might have been the eggs that they had a female
Yeah.
come in that Henry
Yeah.
messaged me about, and he's like, "Dude, she laid eggs." I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I'm sitting here trying to get mine to make something happen. I don't know what I'm not doing." And they come in and drop eggs and hatch them. It's like no big deal.
Gonyos are such cool snakes.
Derek, they sold for like $800, right?
Oh,
Probably
gosh. Something
I wanna
like
say,
that.
yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, I don't know if I have that right now. And then I was like, let me check again, and they were all gone already.
I've been keeping mine together.
Yeah.
I don't ever see them. I see like a head pull back into the tube as soon as I
Mhm.
walk in the cork tube, and if I want to see them, I have to go and pull them out myself.
Yeah.
Smitty, can you make Derek full screen so we can see that sub-on?
Oh God.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hold it up. There it is. Nice. It's got
Do you
some
have a
good
light in your room?
neck stripes.
This is the snake that could get me TikTok famous.
For real.
Dude, they're so cool, man.
Yeah, they're awesome. I
best.
love these snakes.
My wild
Adorable.
rose pass pair, man, they're absolute monsters with food. Like the female will come out of the tub to get it.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome.
Like I fed her last night, and I literally pulled her out and put her on my cart and let her finish eating because I didn't want her to get a bunch of shavings and stuff all over the mouse.
Yeah.
And she just let me pull her out with the mouse in mouth and like just put it on the table.
That's awesome.
She didn't get care at all.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, if I
And
see
the-
some of those at Daytona, I might be picking them up.
The male was hilarious too because if I'm in the room and he's like I have mice on, he's like at the front of the tub like,
Yeah.
hey.
It's funny you say that because both of my males are very like, oh, there are rodents in here, feed
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But my female's like, I'll eat when I want to eat.
Yeah, I don't
It
trust
gives
my
me
wild rose
anxiety.
pass female at all. She's a little bit of an asshole. So she's like the anti-subok, man. She's like
Yeah?
one of the 5%er brettles, you know, that are just plain untrustworthy.
Yeah.
My two males, super chill, no problem.
Mhm.
I sold one of our northern white lip males to somebody at a show, and they messaged us asking how to tame down one of their brettles. Not the white lip. I'm scared to get it out of the cage. Are you sure we're talking
So
about?
if you got one of those, don't bother. It's not going to
Oh
change.
boy. Oh boy.
I was very surprised about that message.
That's funny.
When brettles are bad, man, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's what Riley says. He has a couple bad ones too, right? Ours are chill. Ours are
Where
pretty
did
chill.
Phil go?
Yeah, Phil did it.
What are you guys looking for anything at Daytona this year in particular?
No, we are not.
Yes,
No,
Fuscus.
we're not.
We have all of the Liasis. I need some Fuscus.
Yeah,
Plus-
we do, but we need, yeah.
I want those.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Phil
Really
may
nice
know
yellow bellies.
somebody.
Oh,
As long as they're 100% pure, whatever what they are. It's a Fiji bottle.
Look at that Fiji bottle.
Must be a
Where's-
venomous snake out here.
Yeah. So where's the pygmy?
There's a pygmy around here somewhere.
do you have sponsorship from them yet, Phil? Like, come on.
Yeah, we need to work on that. Be like, look,
And bang. Come on.
Like, how badass
Yes.
would it be if you got a picture of that in a Fiji bottle? Send us that Burt promotional thing.
What did I miss?
Your Fiji sponsorship that you're going to set up?
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
do you know if Jay is going to have more Fuscus at Daytona?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I
Sorry,
don't.
Jeff. Jeff wants Fuscus, and I was like,
But-
I think Phil knows a guy.
I had to be one of the cool kids. So this is not my snake. This is Anna Maria's snake, but this is the Davis County.
Make it bigger.
Oh,
Full screen.
I'm like really
Nice.
dropping the ball.
That's okay.
Look at those eyes. Oh my god.
Amazing.
They are some of the dumbest looking snakes.
They remind me of
Adorable.
those
I love
goldfish.
I love
Those
it.
goldfish with the big bubbly eyes on the side.
Remind me of the Apodora. Apodora have eyes like that too.
So this is Rose.
Rosita.
Beautiful.
Forgot it was back.
They just look confused all the time.
all the time.
And she's so much more orange in real life.
What
Oh,
is
I bet.
Liquid Death sponsor?
Isn't that a beer?
It's water.
Water.
Canned water.
Just kidding.
Had some at the Dave Matthews Band concert. It's pretty damn good.
That's an awesome snake.
That is really awesome.
I
Yeah,
need
it
another
was-
female.
They're just like, look, where am I? What are you doing? Who are you? Leave me alone, mister.
Not a thought between those eyes.
Yep.
Not at all.
It's like a Windows screensaver. Just that little logo just bouncing around.
No, come on, guys. She's super intelligent, man. Believe it or not,
Super.
Oh, I
super
bet.
intelligent. Like stalking her prey and like rolling all of her paper towels into her water bowl. She knows exactly how to do it.
Puzzle feeder intelligence.
Yes. But like I love the contrast, the neck bars.
Still smarter
She's
than Chondros.
beautiful.
Yes.
She
Yes.
is beautiful.
Still smarter than a freezer snake.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
I'm scared to get them. Like, I just know my luck would be like, okay, straight to the freezer you go. Because they're pretty, though, but man, I don't trust myself.
Here's when they're solid, they're really solid.
Yeah.
When they're not, they're really not. So it's all about where you get it. Who are you getting from?
Well, when Dom told us
Absolutely.
about that parasite that crawled out of hers, I was like, "Ugh, I can't do it. I can't do it."
No, where is Dom? Not in the chat.
I know. Where is she? What the hell? Damn it, Dom.
She's probably getting her woo girl on somewhere. Damn college kids.
They don't know when to stop.
When are y'all
to be
getting
fair,
bears?
I didn't even know we were going to be on until
I want beards. I really do.
Jeff told me like 10 minutes before the show
Some pretty
started.
ones out there. When are you going to produce them for me?
Oh,
See, the
Reptile preparation
issue,
party.
the problem is like they don't have big clutches,
Mm-hmm.
and they take a little longer than most colubrids to hatch. So like you have the
Oh, yeah.
Closer.
That's nice. Full screen.
hold on.
He's a little breathing a little too hard in that microphone, yeah?
Don't call him out. That is awesome.
No, Smitty.
Stretch it out, Derek.
What are we
It's
stretching?
So weird. Don't worry about it.
What is
Yeah,
that?
Andy, that hypo bears that they
Cat.
don't, the albinos or hypos, whatever you want to call them, don't all look like that. Unfortunately, I wish they did. But that is something I
that's
plan
very
on
sad.
exploring. Is that hypo gene and some of the other locality stuff? So
I've only seen the beards in person once, and they're really pretty.
There are some Mexicans.
yeah, I
on
saw the
Morph
Mexicans
Market
that are on
right
Morph Market.
Michelle's
Yeah,
beards.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
expensive.
now. They are.
A little steep for what they are, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing about that the Mexicans on Morph Market right now, right?
Mexicans, huh? Okay.
Should probably
The Mexican bears.
I'm feeling a little offended.
The seller only posted the picture of the male.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're claiming they're San Antonio Zoo stock, why aren't you posting pictures of both the parents? It's like, is the female not Mexican, and that's why you're only posting the male? Like, I don't know. I don't.
Suspicious.
And at prices like that, I'd expect pictures of both parents, but that's just
Right.
me.
I tell you what, I got my pair from the Captive Bred Studio off of
Mhm.
Morph Market, and the pictures of the adults that they sent me were absolutely phenomenal, and I am super excited to watch these grow out.
That Davis County male that Chris sent me, he's in shed right now. So as soon as he sheds, there's going to be pictures posted for sure, because I'm anxious to see what he looks like without that jungle skin, quote unquote.
Mhm.
I feel left out that everybody got something from Chris.
Dude, just message him. He'll send
I'm
you
about to
anything you
message him right
want.
now. Like, this is bullshit.
Get some Nerodia.
Yeah, I do.
I'm probably going to end up getting some more corns from him, like some Tessera stuff. He's hatching out so much. And I'm like, dude, how about you surprise me? Send me a bag or a box with like 4 in it. I don't want to know what they are. Like, tell me when they get here, but like, surprise me, you know? Because that's something I also, like, I love Tessera corns. As far as morphs go, Tesseras are awesome.
What kind of corns did you breed for a bit?
Oh.
Normals?
Yeah, Oakteas.
I'm anxious. Well, I don't really
Like,
have any
I'm
desire
embarrassed
to
say.
That's
to
so
mess
cool,
with
though.
the morph stuff all that much, but I am extremely anxious to try and tie it into the locality stuff that I have and see what happens. But
That would be nice.
like, it very likely won't be anything special. But I don't know.
I think the locality stuff's important too, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
And I want to do it with Tesseras because Tesseras, that being a incomplete dominant, you're going to get those right off the rip. So
Indigos, yeah. Our buddy's selling some indigos right now. I was like, oh, I wish I had indigo money, though.
Yeah, it makes 2 of us.
Maybe I'm telling you, we just gotta get like an OnlyFans just for your stash.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's the stat.
Yeah.
I thought about auctioning it off for, US Arc at the Harvard
No,
Fest.
absolutely not.
What I was going to say is just pluck 1 hair a month
oh,
and see how much
no.
money
Let's just
you
not.
get.
Can I do it
Let's
though?
just not,
Can
though.
I plug it?
No, not
you
down.
wouldn't understand the pain. Like, you think childbirth is painful?
You know what sucks? When you're taking a drink out of a soda can and it gets caught on that little
caught in the
tab. Like, oh.
Ooh.
Or as both of you know quite well, particular car buttstocks,
Ugh.
like right there,
Or getting your manhood caught in your zipper?
Ooh.
How'd you get the beans about the Frank?
There was this weird point in time for like a month where that happened to me like 2 or 3 times, and I thought maybe I'd been cursed or something. I was like almost in tears, dude. It hurts so bad.
Not again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that it happened multiple times in a short span.
Never done that, thank God.
I think someone was doing some voodoo or something on me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Derek, what are you looking for at Daytona?
Genus.
Oh boy, I do have a list for Daytona. I'm definitely looking for a female sub-awk because I need as many of those as I can possibly get my hands on.
They're worth their weight in gold, man.
They
so
really are. Like at this point, I don't care if it's a locality, whether it's the het for something like a xanthic or blonde. I need females, and I need lots of them. I'm also going to keep my eye out for some Alafe Carinata because I love king rats. They are amazing.
I think you have a good chance of seeing those, seeing how popular those have gotten in the last couple, months.
I'm that guy where I have a list on my phone and it's broken down. It's like, okay, venomous, colubrids, boas, pythons. What am I looking for? And I will be scrolling that as I walk around the Daytona Expo.
Oh, male Apodora. That's on our list too.
Yeah.
See, I need a female, or at least one female.
You have a male?
You have a male?
I do have a male.
I'll trade you.
So we'll just send you our address, and then.
Man, y'all are coming down here, right?
No, we got 3 girls and no male, so it's like
I
need a male.
Okay, so what's your protocol for Daytona? Like when you get there, like do you just like go by every table like as quickly as you can, and then like
it depends on who you ask. Yeah, there's a certain like I like to do a quick run through.
Okay.
Take mental note of what's where, and then go back.
For the ones you like.
But if something slaps you in the face, you have to buy it on the spot, no hesitation, because there is a high probability that the minute you walk past it, it will be gone. I've had that happen so many times.
Yeah.
Nice pool.
Oh, nice. Good job, Steve.
I'm pumped because this Daytona will be the first Daytona in a long time that I've gone as just someone to enjoy the show. Like last year it was, Rattlesnake Roundtable for TRC. And then I think the year or 2 years before that, I was there with Ashton Biological Preserve setting up a table. So this year I get to go shop with money that I probably shouldn't be spending, but
it's worth it.
That's exactly what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. I need to message Ron Allen and see if he's going to have any more bears there, because I might have to get another pair.
Yeah,
but we are going to be going to the
some
alligator
Mexicans.
farm, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, we need to figure that out.
Hell yeah!
I haven't been there in so long. I'd like to go there again.
Yeah, we'll be doing it the same day as the RPI event. We're going to do it.
Cool.
Morning,
okay.
And then afternoon.
Afternoon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I was like, we're going.
And then we'll head over to Cody and PS.
Yep.
Nice. Also, Nick from Arbronia Alliance messaged me today, and he's looking to get a group of people together to go herping the day before and probably the day after the RPI event.
Sign me up, 100%.
Definitely need to make something happen.
Yeah. I'll message you about that because I want to be
there.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, well, do you guys find much? Do you do much herping up there where y'all are at?
How
many species do you guys even have up there?
We have alligator lizards. We have some Pacific rattlesnakes over on the eastern side.
Nice.
A bunch of garter snakes, rubber boas, which are those are super cool.
About those.
What was it? We had night snakes.
Night snakes.
Yeah, we just
cool. I think there's some
Nachschlagen.
Der Nachschlagen.
Have I found anything besides garter snakes? No. Still trying though.
We have like a ton of different species of salamanders though.
I'm trying to convince Casey Lazick to take us herping.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because he finds everything. I don't know if you follow him on Facebook or Instagram, but he finds all the cool stuff. Those really blue garters, those are nice. So
the Puget Sound ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Puget Sound garters, the super high blue ones.
That's awesome.
What species of night snake is it? Are they all the same?
No, I think there's 3 or 4 actually, right?
So the Great Basin night snake.
I think that's what it is. Let me
The
find
Nachschlagen. Every time we found one of those in Texas, you'd hear someone yell, Nachschlagen.
Yeah, and then there was really bad German accents for 2 hours to follow.
Yeah.
Oh, we have gopher snakes here.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't found those either, though.
No, not at all. And we're really bad when we go hiking and stuff. We never we're just so focused on the mountain that we forget about it, about everything else.
Those look the same as the other night snakes we found in Texas.
Well, that's how it always happens. Is that when you're a herper, you never find anything, but the person walking their dog finds the lifer.
Right?
Exactly. What is this?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I hate you.
Yeah. I can't tell you the last time I've hiked out an Eastern Diamondback, but 2 weeks ago, I had someone 7 minutes from my house call me and be like, "Hey, come relocate this Eastern Diamondback for me."
What?
Nice.
Yeah.
But you go looking for them, you can't find them.
No, not at all.
My pleasure.
Yep.
It's
Well,
like
I also
my keys.
make keynote I make keynote as to anytime someone calls me or texts me and says, "Hey, I got X, Y, and Z in my yard. Do you want to come get it?" I always tell them to send me something to scale. Throw a dollar bill in there, throw a ballpoint pen in there. Let me see what I'm working with here.
Right.
Because I've gone to be like, "Oh yeah, I've got this baby rattlesnake," and it's 5 foot. Or better yet, it's like, "Oh, I got this eastern coral snake. It's the best one I've ever seen. It's so thick and perfect and blah blah." And I'm like, "All right, you know what? I'll drive the 2 hours to go get that animal."
Right.
And I get there and it's literally a cocktail straw, and I just let it go.
I tell you about the 6 foot snake I got called to come remove from someone's house, and it was like a fresh out of the egg rat snake.
Really?
6 foot python.
Oh.
I roll up and there's a 5-gallon bucket in the yard, and I'm like,
no.
what?
I had
like,
someone.
really?
I had someone message me saying that they've been illegally keeping an Eastern Diamondback for almost a full year, and they feed it one small rat a week. And I'm like, this is going to be the most obese Eastern Diamondback I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And they were several hours away from me, so I ended up not being the one to go pick it up. But I'm friends with the person who did, and they were like, yeah, they were lying because this Eastern Diamondback is extremely small for a yearling. So you can never trust what people are telling you.
That's why we have local people pick up some feeders from us every once in a while when we have extras.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, I'll just take a small rat, and if you bring our small rat is different than their small rat.
Right.
Oh no. Okay, so you want a pup? Okay, got it. Totally different.
Oh gosh.
Those night snakes were really cool, though. I really enjoyed playing with those in Texas. Such cool little snakes,
I want to
man.
see them.
I want to do what was it? Mark Boyer, Ryan.
Oh yeah, they went out there recently.
Oh.
He found some subocs actually. I don't know if you saw that picture.
Yep.
Justin.
Like a whole trip. I'm like, damn, that just sounds like so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want to go again, man. Especially after seeing all the stuff that Chris and them found.
That too.
Yeah.
A month after we were there in the same spots, they were killing it.
Yeah.
Literally,
He found a monster
the
subok.
Same spots.
It's just luck of the draw. I think you got to catch them.
I think they had more rain than we did. That was part of it.
Yeah. I also
We only had a couple sprinkles. We didn't have any heavy rain.
feel like the week that we were there is the same week that everyone else in the country wanted to go there. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe. I mean, the hotel, like the Oasis was. I mean, there was all the parking spots were pretty damn well filled up. So
Yeah. I also want to get on private property too, because I feel like there's so much private property out there that's just nobody herps it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
well, we had that one guy at the food truck who said he
Oh yeah. He offered.
had private property, and we never took him up on it.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, he's
we
like,
might
oh
have been
yeah.
murdered, but
No, well,
It
he's
was like you just
call.
met some random guy and he just told you about his private property.
Yeah, well, it was the guy working the food truck, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's better.
Yeah, it makes it legit. Didn't you know?
Yeah, but you gotta realize too is we're like in herping Mecca. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like on the side of the food truck in Sharpie marker, it said Baird's greater than Alterna.
Yeah.
which if
Like-
you're in the secret Baird group, that's the cover photo.
Nice. And he was like, yeah, he's like, if you want, I give you the number of a guy who owns like 400,000 acres for $100 a head. He'll let you herp it for a week.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had to pay. I thought he just said, "Hey, I know a spot if you guys."
No. It's because
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he's like $100. You can herp it for the week. But I'm sorry, but dude, $100 to have private property and you're the only herpers there for an entire week. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
Even if it was $100 a person.
Yeah.
Well,
You increase your chances of finding something though
Yeah.
a whole lot, so I think
Yeah.
it might be worth it.
Especially considering I just spent almost, $200 on a bottle of bourbon. So, I mean, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's still. I do it.
I mean, that's
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, the cool thing about private property too is you can take stuff home if you want. But if you're
that's true.
if you're in a natural area or a protected area or a wildlife management area, that's state flora and fauna. You can't remove it. If you're on private property and it's not a protected species, that sucker's yours. If you feel so inclined.
Right.
It was frustrating being in some of those parks and not being able to have something to help flip things. And like Zoolander and them were like flipping rocks with their hands and stuff in some of those spots. Like when we were looking for Lepidus and stuff, and I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Well, like you saw, I got that when we first entered that one natural area. I found the first oak tree, and that had a broken branch on the bottom, and like because you're not supposed to snap branches and stuff. So I found a stick that was on the ground. I plucked off all the little spruits off the side of it, and I made a half-assed snake hook because you can't have a snake hook.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and then thank God I did that because we hiked it was like 4.2 miles in that park, and there wasn't a single oak tree past where I found that one.
Yeah.
So it was all just like sagebrush and crap.
So you guys weren't allowed to have snake hooks out there?
In the national state parks, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that's crazy.
Apparently, if you do, they pretty much automatically assume you're there to collect. There's like, and I'm sure they get lied to all the time about that kind of stuff. Like, oh, we're not taking anything. So can't really blame them. I understand it. I'm not like opposed to it or anything like that. It's just kind of frustrating, especially when it's like you're looking around in certain areas and you don't want to put your hands there. And
I guess a collapsible one would be nice.
well, then like there was like the one group that we're pretty sure was taking pretty much everything they found, and they had tongs and
Yeah, because they don't care.
what the hell?
You know
They
what I mean?
really-
Nice walking stick.
Yeah, cane.
That has a hook at the end of it.
Yeah, right.
They ask you about it. Say HIPAA. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're gonna tell me I don't have a bad hip?
Yeah.
Just assume my gender.
Okay, so we've never been to Daytona before. This is our first time. I know. So, what are your guys' like tips for us? I mean, besides
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not in the game plan. So let's go again.
Pace
Talking about like the actual show or just overall?
Oh, we're spending a week there, so
Every moment of every day is planned.
Boy.
So we're
18th to
gonna,
the 25th. So.
Go to Razzles.
What's that?
Don't go to Razzles.
That
Sounds like a strip club.
that sounds like a strip club.
Sounds like a cheap strip club.
The best
Oh,
hours to
what's
go
wrong?
are at noon on a Monday.
Oh
That
God,
sounds horrible.
it's probably the cleanest time to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because no one's there, or
Yeah. I will say this: when you're in Daytona proper, stick to the resort. You want to walk down like the boardwalk and like go see like some of the shops and like some like pizza parlors and crap. Go for it. Stay to the touristy areas.
It's nice because everything's
Right
like, you
there.
park your car in the parking lot, and then you really don't have to have your car to go anywhere. I mean, there's a cigar shop like a mile down the road, but everything's literally like in this little bubble, more or less.
Are you guys staying in the hotel as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, the resort.
Cool.
Mhm.
I will say, if you find somewhere to park your vehicle, leave it there and don't move it. Last time I was in Daytona,
Yes.
I got towed. So,
Oh shit. Okay.
Or you could be like Billy and
And-
just have a busted ass truck with wheels that like deflate for no reason.
No, man, he had a blowout. What are
Try
you
not
gonna
to
do?
do that.
But I will say this though, just on the car thing too, is if you're not parking it valet in the parking garage at the resort, make sure you strip everything out of that vehicle.
oh, absolutely.
Because if you so much as leave a nickel in the cup holder, that window's gonna get smashed out and they're gonna burglarize that vehicle.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a very classy
area.
area.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Daytona is a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city. It is a fairly nice area, but it's not the city it used to be 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And when you venture off the main strip, it gets
Dark.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, run down. and the residents are not as friendly to tourists, and so on and so forth.
Oh, so like Portland. Okay. No, I got it.
No, nothing's as bad as Portland. Don't do
I know.
that.
If you guys know anything about Portland, it's like basically homeless city. Like
Oh, nice.
crack
Yeah.
everywhere. Like it's just
But in terms of the show itself, pace yourself with seeing everything. Pace yourself with consuming and imbibing alcohol.
Oh yes,
And-
100%.
Stay hydrated. And I will say this because I know both of you are going to do a lot of outdoor stuff. You're going to go to the beach a lot, I'm sure. The UV index down here is higher than it was when we were in West Texas in over 100-degree temperature. The UV index is crazy down here.
We don't get sun up here, so it'll be
Yeah,
different.
so I would
Okay.
say like you get like the 900 SPF and you put it on every 15 minutes because you'll look like a lobster. Yeah, I'm dead serious. UV index is crazy in Florida.
okay.
But be prepared for late nights.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
We're rooming with Dom, so I doubt we're getting any sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say I am not drinking this year.
Yes, you will be. We will
What?
fix that.
Yeah. What?
I'm not drinking.
Why?
Because I got some medication I'm on. That's not a good
There's
idea.
other ways to get alcohol in you.
There's a legitimate medical reason. I'm telling everyone that now. I'm telling Billy.
Don't worry about it.
So-
We'll bring you some edibles.
We got you. Oh,
Jesus,
no.
not it.
We're not
Oh,
bringing
man.
any of that. Okay.
Oh, God.
All right.
This is my last one and only time. It was a nightmare.
It sounded like a good time. The videos I saw, fantastic.
Yep.
It was.
Thanks, Dom.
All right. So okay. So are you guys like in line first thing in the morning? Like what's
Yeah,
the
I
layout
would.
like?
I
don't
would
know, the line
recommend.
moves pretty quick.
Okay.
It does, but I would recommend that if what time show opens for customers at 9.
I think so.
Okay, so let's just say it opens at 9. So it opens it for vendors at 8. It opens for everyone else at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I would say because you're not alone, you have each other as well as the other friends that are going to be there. Get in line at like 8:15 because by 8:30 the line's going to be around the building.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
But
And
it
I
moves
don't
quick.
know. And even though like during peak COVID, the show still went on, and they were only letting so many people in the hall.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say make sure you figure that out.
I don't know, it fooled me. It didn't seem like it was any different from the year before.
Yeah, it was. It was a giant line that wrapped around the entire building, opposed to just a bunch of people hoarded in one little area.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'll
don't
just be
remember.
carrying a box or something in at 8 o'clock with somebody, and we'll be all right.
There you go.
Dude, they are super strict about that. Good
That's
luck.
what
That's what
Security
it is.
is
Yeah.
bad.
Security is insane.
That is
Yeah.
so different from our shows. Like,
Yeah.
that is not a thing.
Oh, and whatever animals you do purchase, I mean, obviously I know you guys are shipping them home, but if you decide to leave with something, it can't come back in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
once the animal leaves, you cannot bring that animal back in. So like let's say you want to leave the convention center to go grab lunch somewhere and you're going to come back, like you leave your animals with, me and Justin at the table or whatever, because they won't let you bring it in.
And it
That
is, from personal experience, it's very easy to get lost in that hotel, especially if you're intoxicated.
Oh, yeah. It is.
I was in the
there's-
complete wrong tower one night.
Yeah.
Very confused. Very
There's two
scared.
towers. There's a north tower and a south tower. Make sure you know which one you're staying in. And remember, the beach is east, the street is west. So figure it out.
It'll be fine. Everything's going to be great.
It's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's good. It's good.
I'm excited.
We
That
have
is a
our
thing
little
that a lot of
snakes and
people don't.
stogies circle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, are we gonna do a live show for like an hour or no?
I don't know. I don't know how good the internet is there.
We got the whole crew coming, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Definitely.
do.
I know
I
last
think
year.
Bill's coming too.
Oh, hell yeah. Last year, I walked by Justin for
Yeah, that was like
3
the 30
seconds.
seconds I saw him the entire weekend.
the entire week. But I get to be an actual guest this year and not someone who is coordinating an event. So I cannot wait.
it's great, man. This is my first time vending with
Hell
not
yeah.
working for someone.
Hell yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I feel obligated to stay at the table, but I don't want to. I'm gonna put a sign that says we'll be back in 10 minutes, and then just so it's great, man. This is gonna be a hell of a show. I'm so excited.
It definitely will be.
I'm
So excited.
I'm stoked about seeing everything going out there because
I think it'll be so much different than what we have here.
Mhm.
That I think it'll be kind of like inspiring to like make changes or push changes for shows on our side,
Sure.
and then to really just get to meet people, see what other stuff's out there. Because
how many people go to the Daytona show, just roughly?
a lot.
I would say
there used to be.
you're talking about vendors. You're talking about
Yes.
guests. I would say a few thousand a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, because I think it was 2 days for our last show we just had. I think we had 8,000 total.
Yeah, it's a little over 8,000 for 2 days.
What show was that?
The Puyallup Reptile show.
Yeah,
So,
Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the biggest one closest to y'all? Is it the Super Show?
I think the biggest super show would be Pomona.
Yeah, that's,
Pomona Super Show. We don't reach numbers like everybody else does.
No, we don't. I mean, like, in a lot of the buyers that we get are, it's a lot of families, which is fine. People want to check it out, maybe get their first ball python. But you really don't get to necessarily have, like, really great conversations with people who are actually in the hobby, besides with other vendors, obviously. And then there's, like, a few random people you'll get to finally meet from offline. You're like, oh, you're so-and-so. Like, you keep this species, but you don't vend or whatever. And it's, like, that's cool. But, like, being able to go to a show like this, I think will be really... I don't know. It'll just be really eye-opening.
And
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
You
I'm
get
excited.
You get the nice Florida humidity.
Oh, shit.
Nothing like it.
And
Is that
the
like a thing-
smothering air.
I was going to say, is that a thing out there, too? Like, where people just don't wear deodorant? Is that like a...
Florida.
Good point. Okay. We always joke every year at every big show that, like, Zoom Ed comes out and sponsors us and stuff. They get a little package, like little
Yeah. No.
beta fish crap that we'll just like put in like a little deodorant inside everyone's bag.
Nice.
It gets real bad sometimes.
Ginter's first big show.
Yeah.
We wanted to do Tinley this year, but it's the same day as our
Yeah.
October show. So
yeah.
we're like, and we have all the babies that are just hatching out. So we have like 30 or so babies that are going to be ready, definitely. So it's like,
Yeah. So it's
spend money or make money. I don't know. Tough one.
Just do both.
yeah, you'll just stay here and I'll go.
How about no? No, it's a good time though. I'm excited.
Yeah, Daytona's. I've only gone the last 2 years, but that is like a show that I will. It's going to be on my calendar. Like as soon as this one ends, like I'm going to be making sure that I'm, off for the next one. It's become a show that I cannot miss. Like if there's anything reptile related that I have to definitely get to, it's Daytona.
Oh yeah. It's
Just
tradition.
hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, we'll go to is Daytona.
Tradition.
You guys have a lot of variety at that show. Or?
I'd say so. I'd say that you have your banks of ball pythons, and a couple of years it's hognose and cresties, and
A lot of corn snakes last year. A ton of corn snakes.
but everyone has an eclectic group of stuff within it. So like just because there's a table with 500 ball pythons on it, there might be like 15 colubrids at the very end.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's always everyone has a good variety of stuff. So
I will say, I think it was 2 years ago, I saw more rough-scaled pythons in my life
Yeah.
at Daytona than I had ever
It's
seen.
ridiculous. Yeah, multiple tables with rough scales.
Oh, that'd
Really
be too
crazy.
tempting.
That's stuff that you don't see out here a lot. So like
Yeah.
that'll be cool to see.
Last year, I think there were I saw a couple pairs of white lips, some ringed pythons as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some really cool stuff. You just gotta keep your eyes peeled for it.
There was some big Jansen eye,
Yes,
but because of the table and who it was, I was like, I ain't doing it.
the same.
They
We had a
were.
bowl
I mean,
at
they're
our table.
definitely imports, but just.
Oh, yeah.
And people
Look,
still complain
Scott's
about
gonna say
variety.
roughies are boring.
Roughies are boring.
Scott.
Excuse you, Scott.
You got them in your backyard. Doesn't
How
mean
dare you,
anything.
sir?
Yeah.
The only pythons I will bring into this room are roughies, or eventually I'll get back into breadlie. Or breadlie, sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Oof, that was Close.
What about macklets?
I've
Yes.
been there. I had a young macklets, but and they're awesome. But
He said Macklets on accident. That's the best part.
See? That's just how it rolls off the tongue.
It's because you said it.
No.
Oh God.
I'm pronouncing Mac. It's Maclots. I just shorten the O. Macklets.
Okay.
it's at South Carolina.
No.
Are we gonna have that debate, the colubrid debate again?
Colubrid.
Colubrid. Oh my
Yeah, give me some of
god.
them colubrids.
I kind of go between the two. Sometimes it's
Owen like that.
colubrids, sometimes it's colubrids.
Cracks me up. To
He
each their
fed
own.
an Olimpelli to a Mulga.
What?
What a sick.
No, he
sick
fed
man.
a roughie to a Mulga.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with that, but god damn.
How
I
long?
know there's not an E, Scott. I'm saying Maclots.
No,
When
you're
I
saying
say
that.
it quickly, Macklets.
Ryan Cox. It's Colubrid.
It is whatever our Lord and Savior Steve Irwin says it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
All praise. All praise.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's how colubrid is how Dan Colgan would say it.
Colubrid.
Colubrids. He's up in Jersey. Colubrids.
I mean, if you want to go like ancient phonetic, it would be Colubridae.
Do that again.
I'll let you just say it.
Yeah.
Roll
Are they
R's again.
No, it would be Colubridae.
Oh, it's on fire tonight, dude. Good lord.
Why isn't Scott on here? Come on.
Is he
Let me
like
see. I may have gotten a message saying, "Send me the link."
Okay, we need at least a minute of some Scott time. I need to hear him vent a little
I
bit.
agree with that.
Like,
I know it's only 8. We got
Right.
time.
Yeah, it's 8 for y'all. It's
Yeah,
11
right.
here.
Wow.
East Coast people, I
I
swear.
mean, West Coast, Best Coast.
Am I right?
Listen, my latitude chart.
Ooh.
East Coast. Oh.
No, I need to work. Damn it, Scott.
Nice. That's good.
Come on, computer. You can do it.
Are you guys going to be taking any animals to the expo or just the magazine stuff?
Just magazine stuff
Yeah.
for me. Billy's gonna
Yeah.
have a lot.
Yeah, Billy's got
Yes.
a great selection this year.
Oh, no.
Great selection.
I know, there's so many people we have to like meet in person when we're there.
I don't think we'll meet everybody.
I know.
Not all of our internet friends. He said he can do it in 5 minutes or so. Yes.
Well, I just sent him the link, so we'll see.
Hell yeah. No, do you know if Billy's Macs are going to be available at that show? I don't know.
Well, he's hoping to. I know there's some stubborn feeders, so Billy doesn't like to bring stuff out for sale unless it is tip top, ready to rock and roll. So, providing he can get things up to par, then absolutely.
Cox is just stirring the pot.
Yeah,
I
Cox
love how
is
Scott says, "No, I need to
trolling.
work," and then literally not even a minute later, I can do it in 5 minutes.
I love Scott.
We love our Iper rants.
If he brings Max, then I'll be getting a pair of those, 100%.
I mean, he had how many clutches did he have? Like 2 or 3?
Two.
We have 2.
Yeah.
We need more.
We have a pair of
What
them.
if we lose one? I need one.
They won't be from Billy though. They need to be from
Exactly.
Billy.
Exactly. I really want some.
Derek and I are on the same page.
Yes.
There he is.
Hey,
Glit-
there he
glitter
is.
sender
Sender.
himself.
Glitter sender. Yeah.
What's up, Scott?
G'day, fellas. How are we going? And Gendra, of course.
Gendra in flesh. Yes.
How are we going?
I
We're
mean, we were
surviving.
fine until you said Ruffy sucked.
Yeah, that's true.
Fed him to a freaking.
We all just got
I reckon
kicked in
you
the
just- Yeah, but roughies are boring.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
rattlesnakes
no.
are boring. How about that? There, I said it. Sorry, Derek.
Ooh,
What do you say? Rattlesnakes?
I'm
Yeah,
hurt.
Rattlesnakes are boring. Mate, everything's boring to you, Justin, because you go herping in your room all the time.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I find stuff, and it's more than I can say for Phil.
Ooh.
That's good. That's good. Sorry,
Oh.
I don't find it on camera. Sorry.
I find
Hashtag
corn snakes all the
grocery.
time.
Oh god! Well, like Barcheck always finds shit on camera.
Oh, I just found it there. Okay.
Oh boy, how are we going, guys? What's been happening?
No escaped snakes, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I just assumed you've got escape snake.
I don't.
It's just a given.
I got shims on everything. I got the door sweep now.
Here's a thought: why not build cages that are snake tight?
I didn't build the racks. It's not my fault.
That is true. That is
But you
good.
paid for them. You paid for them.
I don't even know who made
Can
them.
you imagine if I had snakes get out like you did? Fuck it.
Oh my god! How much money have you spent on lost snakes, Justin?
Ooh.
Nothing, because I found them all.
Oh, okay. All of them?
Except the first rhino rat. That was different.
Okay.
Jeff, you're pitching a nerve
Hey,
pal.
is it-
He's up.
Is it just like a Carolina thing to have snakes get out? Is that why they're going to ban venomous in the Carolina?
Whoa.
That wasn't me.
Shots
No.
fired. Shots fired.
No, all 3 rhino rats are accounted for. Thank you. All 9 corn snakes are accounted for. Billy's satanic Colognathus is still intact. Like,
Hey, my Apodora got out, so I can't talk.
My Apodora also got out. Don't sweat it.
There are 2
hey, it's an
strong.
American thing, Scott. It's not even just me or a South Carolinian thing. It's
But my room is escape proof, so it got out of
Yes.
the tub.
Mine is
also
now,
got out
too.
of the room.
So wait a minute. So let me ask you this: how did the Apodoras get out?
I don't know. I wasn't in there. I'm guessing it pushed itself out. I don't somehow.
So it's
I
in
was
a
going to say,
drawer.
those things would pop a door, wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a drop down with 3 notches.
so
Yeah, and I
what?
was
They get
looking-
a
I was
pass
looking on the
because they're
ground.
strong.
It was
Yes.
up here, just looking at me, and I looked up. Oh crap! That's an Apodora. Try to stand up. It bit my hand. It was a good time. Good time.
Yes. So last
Oh,
year,
you got
Oh, the worst bite I'd ever had.
so you got penalised for it. You got penalised for it as well.
Exactly. She's like, "Yeah, you won't do that again." Okay.
So last year during the Daytona Expo, actually, I was down in Daytona, and for some reason, I don't know why, but the day before, I took my Apodora out and put it in a 32 quart
Oh,
to
no.
feed while I was servicing the enclosure. Come to find out, it had gotten its way out of that 32 quart while it was still clasped shut. So here my girlfriend is calling me saying, "Hey, there's a snake by the computer printer. What do I do with it?" So I'm like, "Okay, go get snake hooks, put it in the bucket as soon as you can."
How big is it?
At that time, it was maybe 4 to 5 feet in length.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, not bad. Super manageable.
Ours is about
Yeah.
like 10, 11
If it-
feet right now.
Yeah,
It's a
see,
big
if it
girl.
does that this year, I am fucked.
Yeah.
How many of you guys keep live bearers?
Oh boy.
Wait, what?
1, 2.
None.
How scary is it when you find something that wasn't meant to be gravid or you didn't think was gravid, and then you open up the enclosure and there's a baby tiger snake? You're like, fuck. Okay, right, now we need to work out whether we've got all of these baby tiger snakes still sitting in this cage where mum is.
Yep.
How many were there?
I've got a pygmy rattlesnake right now that's a wild collected, and I swear the thing's gonna drop babies any day now. It is super gravid.
Oh. I opened up a cage that had death adders in it, and I thought she was about 2 weeks off. And I looked at it, and as I've opened the cage, like 3 baby death adders fell down onto my lap, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's not good."
Talk about a wake-up call.
Right. And Ty was like, "I fucking told you to move those," and I'm just like, "I got nothing. I've got fucking nothing."
That's awesome.
But I have some.
Anyway.
I have a couple corn snakes get out, and that's whatever. That's a big deal.
Have you,
That's
have you
all right.
guys,
Getting a bite from a baby death adder is like getting bitten by a baby corn snake anyway. It's probably not that bad. Don't do that at home, kids.
have you guys ever put packing tape like against any of the like smaller ventilation or the in between the panes of glass because you had the inclination that something might be gravid, and then you come into the room and there's like 4 babies stuck to the tape?
Oh yes,
No.
Yeah.
No. I just use weather seal.
Why don't you just stick a glue trap in the
It'll
bottom of the
work
cage, Phil?
it was garbage idea.
Look, it worked like a son of a bitch. They didn't get out.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, I had to use oil to get it off.
No, it's
Spray 'em with
just
Pam.
no, it's just packing tape. It's just packing tape.
Oh, well, we used
Pam works really well.
No, I just use clear packing tape, and baby squams just peel right off of it.
Squams.
It's like catching flies.
I went to a person's house, right, for a call out, and I caught a baby Easter brown. They're like, "Oh, are there more here?" And I'm like, "Nah, you just get babies every now and then." You know. Fucking woman rang me back 10 times over 10 days. Every day, I've got another one. It's like, every time I go through it, yeah, she had a clutch of eggs that was laid in her garage, and no one knew about it. I didn't find the clutch of eggs. She eventually found the clutch of eggs 6 months later and sent me a photo of it going, "Hey, what do you think these are?"
Oh
There
boy.
were 22 eggs. We only caught 10.
Oh,
So there was an extra 12 brown eggs kicking around the house.
That's awesome.
You know, what do you do?
Brandon, if the scrub got out, I would know as well
Fun
because
game.
he's everywhere. He'd be up high somewhere.
Well, let me ask you this: to those of you keeping live-bearing animals, do you, when you know the female is close to dropping, do you move her into a sterile enclosure or no?
Oh, we keep our Demerals, where she's at.
Those are big babies. That doesn't count.
I keep her. I shift them into a tub that I know is baby proof,
Right.
and that way then I'm not. Then I don't stress.
See, but like Derek,
We've got.
So right now I've got one live bear that may be gravid, the pygmy rattlesnake that I'm sure is gravid.
Let me get some pigs.
She's in an enclosure right now that babies definitely cannot get out of. But as far as everything else that I'm keeping, that's not really a concern or a worry that I have, because everything I have is either way too young to be gravid, or by the time I get there, I will have more experience under my belt and be better prepared for.
Yeah, and
Well,
Scott,
the part you got to be worried about though, and I found this is I've had 3 instances of parthenogenesis and death at it, and
Demerals,
one
babies.
in Tiger.
Are you for real?
So
For right now?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of live-bearing animals, wait, what did you say?
We
She
got
said
Demerals babies.
right now?
Yeah.
You're fucking with me.
Good luck.
What?
You're fucking.
Oh, look.
Say it on the fucking mic. You
Yeah, we got Demerals babies. That's cool.
See, the power of
Hey.
Scott Eiper, the glitter sender
That's it.
himself.
the glitter sender.
Sender.
But Scott, what were you going to say before I cut you off, buddy?
So we've had a number of cases of parthenogenesis. So it's not even putting stuff together and knowing that something isn't gravid or something is. We've had stuff that is gravid that we didn't know about it. So
Here, take some pictures.
Henry's asking about those babies from Matt. They aren't at our house yet. I've paid for the fucking things, but I haven't got them yet. So he's being a secret squirrel. We picked
Kendra.
up Ingram.
Nice, awesome,
We got Ingram
Dude.
now. So
dude.
fluorescent
So cool.
orange brown snails.
Awesome,
So
man.
yeah. It looks like we got a taipan that's going to do either retained sperm clutch from 14 months ago, or that'll be a patho clutch as well. So it's going to be a pain in the ass. It seems like we've had 3 taipans. Fucking look like they're pushing eggs. Going to be pushing eggs.
Oh,
this
that's
year.
pretty.
So
Those are huge. You don't have to worry about those escaping. Look at that.
Wait,
thing.
was that just get born?
That was just born, like,
Just
within the
born.
last...
No
within the
shit.
podcast.
Like in the last 2 hours. This was just born.
Oh, that is pretty. She's
What?
gorgeous.
Justin, put that full screen, please.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I keep forgetting I can do that.
Okay, I'm not longer
That-
gonna
you
do
guys-
one anymore.
You guys are liars. That's
I'm gonna go-
2
I'm gonna
months
go-
old, man.
No.
Oh man, they come out big.
Look like some babies.
That's awesome.
Where's all the goo?
No goo. They like shed out
right away.
right away. This one's really pretty though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, this is
amazing.
I think it's
awesome.
too bright
We've been
that way.
waiting
That's
so
awesome.
long for these guys to for our big female to give birth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even
How many is she gonna have?
I don't know. The last girl gave us 10, so
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It varies. I mean, I saw at least 8 in there.
They come out the size of an adult
That's
sailboat.
gotta be,
Right?
these things
Oh
are
my
nuts.
God.
That's like what, 40 grand, 50 grand,
Right?
At least,
60
yeah.
grand maybe.
That is awesome
That's
though.
The thing is, eat a fucking adult man.
Exactly. Yeah, and they'll eat like the next day. Like I accidentally
we're
offered
Yeah,
food
small
to them.
rats.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Super cool though.
No, none of them are
Happy.
for sale yet, so no one
Ah.
knows.
Oh, damn it.
I need a female.
So does everybody else.
Super cool
Oh
though.
my god, yeah.
I'm glad I could show you guys. This could happen on the show. That's
I
awesome.
know.
What's the how big's the girl?
She's 12 years old and she's about 10 or 11 feet.
She's big girl.
Eating large rats.
Yeah.
You
Hell
know,
yeah.
once a month.
Is
You
there,
guys-
is there a
So
way
what's
that
the,
you
what's the
can,
size of an olive?
Wider. Yeah.
Much wider.
Yeah.
is there a way you guys can bring the camera over?
Let me try to bring the camera over. Let me see.
Do you guys pop them or do you probe them right out the gate or do you wait?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Damn it, Phil.
That was a bad idea.
damn it!
Sorry. No, I'm pretty sure you can go by tail size, just like Bitis.
Okay,
Man, that is fucking gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Fucking tree boas, eh?
Have you
There
switched
you
to
go.
drinking bourbon right out of the bottle now?
Derek
Yeah,
cares not.
My ice has melted, so there's no point in watering it down.
I love it, Derek.
Sorry.
I love it.
So I must go, unfortunately, and I didn't really rant too much, which was always nice.
Oh,
Disappointed.
You gracing us with your presence is good enough.
I
sir.
mean, look, it made babies happen. So
It
you're a
did.
miracle worker.
Legit.
I swear to God, that's fantastic. I'll get on more calls. If they're going to get more babies happening like that, that'd be great.
The female heard you were coming on. She said, "Oh man."
She just quivered. Just quivering.
Don't be
Wow.
surprised if Eric and Owen call you tomorrow, the next day, and schedule you to come on just so they get some fucking babies.
Good luck, Chuck.
Yep.
Fucking hell, eh? I didn't realise those babies were so big in that.
Yeah, they're huge.
Oh,
How
yeah.
impressive is that?
Look, man, I've never bred them, but I don't remember them being that big.
What's up,
I knew they
everybody?
were big.
Mhm.
So I don't know how to flip the camera on my phone, so I'm not good at that. But
What a
So
beauty.
gooey.
Wow, look at that.
there's possibly a stillborn, or no, it's moving over there.
Oh, so it's still coming out.
So there's a couple over there. That was really pretty. This is mom.
Look at that little guy
What
just
a
hanging on the log.
Why would you keep fucking ball pythons if you could keep something like that?
Exactly.
Right.
Only
Amen.
people, but yeah. Ain't
Says
nuts.
that to people that have a room full of blah blah blah.
That's all right. I don't care.
Well, we got
Billy
to
Scott, really? I'm just kidding.
That's better than a ball python.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
100%.
just no better than a ball
I
python.
agree. That is awesome.
How long is the
It's funny.
gestation?
I've only ever seen one of those
6 to 9
right,
months.
in my time, and I thought it was an adult, and it was like 6 feet long. And I'm looking at this thing, going, "Holy
Mom and
shit,
baby right there. That's cool.
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome."
Yeah.
Hey, the baby that you pulled out, does it have a chin patch?
I believe it does. Let's look.
What does the chin patch mean?
Most Damaros we've had, all of them that we've had, I've had that chin patchy. Yeah.
Look at that little guy.
Can't really see with the camera.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can see it.
Is it there? Yep. Yep.
Yeah. You can see
Yeah, it's
tiny
there.
though.
So what's
It's
the
there.
so what's the function for that? Do they sit down in the leaf litter and they just with their nose sticking out, and that way, and it's like it's camouflage for the nose just sticking out in the leaf litter? Because they'd be an ambush feeder, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're like a Fitus and boa form.
There's a report of them, like being hanging out in the water and then, just waiting
Yeah.
for something to come by. So that was pretty cool.
So if they're sitting there, their head would have to be sort of slightly elevated, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yep.
would make
Oh,
sense
yeah.
to have melanin on the bottom of the chin. Otherwise, you'd have this little white patch in amongst the leaves, and shit would see it. So there's probably a functional reason for having that chin patch.
Well,
I never thought of it
it's-
that way.
It's
Yeah.
actually, it's believed that the first Dumerals that were brought into the country legitimately were inbred so much from the same original parents that all the babies had that patch on the chin, and because of that, every single Dumerals in the United States, in some regard or another, has that chin patch. While from what I gather, a lot of wild specimens don't have it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and because they're protected, they can't bring in new ones to diversify the gene pool.
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit.
Are they protected like rough scale pythons and pellies and shit like that are protected, or?
Yeah.
So in other words, you get them all the time anyway.
No, I wish there'd be less chin
Oh, no,
patches.
that is Scott. Little male olive python that hates me.
So,
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's ready to
that's
murder.
nice. He's going. Are you going to feed me? That's what that look is.
He's like, I smell sniffles.
Stick your hand in there and give him a tickle under the chin.
Oh no, he'll bite my hand in a heartbeat. But we're gonna go, guys. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
on.
but it'll make for good viewing.
Huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everybody. Take care.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, bye.
Hey, so I've got one other thing to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Phil.
No, I was going to say that's one of the only acceptable reasons to leave the show early.
Yeah, absolutely.
What were you saying, Scott?
100%. Mate, you guys have got to get that Lizards of the World book by Rhoda. Holy shit, that's got some work in it.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
6,536 species. Every species is covered in the table. The table has reproductive information, mass, length, habitat type, etc., 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 and there's an overview for each of the genera as well. Very,
awesome.
Very impressive book.
Awesome.
The best way to describe it's like a phone book with no pictures. So, we picked it up. I was thinking, oh yeah, it's going to cost a pretty penny. It was like $170 Australian. I think I got it for, and worth every cent. So you guys are probably over there. You probably get it for like $80.
Okay. Definitely check it out.
So, yeah, give it a run. When are we doing a book? When are we going to do a book show?
I guess that's got to happen soon. Maybe we can do that next week.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. We got a couple other people lined up.
Yeah,
The Dark Lab is
as long as
kids
we
who
can
can read good.
Yeah, well, that's what you have pictures for. That's what pictures are all about. So, anyway. All right, I gotta go. I gotta start driving. I gotta get to another bloody meeting. So, I'd rather stay here and talk shit with you guys, and that's a lot more fun than me telling people what to do.
Pimping ain't easy.
So, yeah, you know what, though? It's going to be fun because I'm going to be in a foul mood, and so they're going to have to cop it. So, fuck it. So,
Godspeed to those poor bastards.
Have you know, fellas, see you.
See ya.
Thanks, Scott.
Did you see the pictures that Bill forwarded?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh no.
I don't think it's real. I think it's more bullshit because that's like the fourth one of those I've seen this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Basically someone saying that a non-native to the United States venomous is loose in a particular city, and then you look at the photo and you could tell by like the grass and the terrain that it's clearly not the United States. And then later on it's pulled that it's from a snake ID group from some foreign country on Facebook.
Of course.
So yeah, it's just people making waves.
Yeah, of course.
I'll bet you. I mean, after the whole recent thing, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if like PETA and some of them started trying to pull that kind of stuff.
100%. And I know one good thing talking about FWC in Florida is FWC has a rule that any potential lead for a possible escape of a non-native animal, they fully investigate. And I actually had a phone call about 10 years ago. My inspector called me. He goes, "Hey, man, do you keep any king cobras?" This is before we had like record keeping and stuff. And I said, "No, I don't do kings." He goes, "Are you sure you didn't lose one in your city?" And I was like, "No, why? No, I would know if I lost a king cobra." He says, "Okay, because we got somebody put a lost snake ad on Craigslist, and it said my 15-foot king cobra answers to the name of Fluffy, likes to be petted on the chin, and then they showed a picture, and it's clearly a 65-year-old Indonesian man in the jungle with a wild frigging king cobra that's 14 foot. So yeah, they investigate everything. I just, the problem is that people are going to see photos like that, and they're going to jump on it, and it's going to spread like wildfire and make it worse anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Still cracks me up that you smoke Camel Crush.
I love them. I'm a camel man.
Sold those to a lot of chicks when I worked at Walgreens.
They are delicious.
That's all right, man. I'm on that worm dirt.
Yeah, good for you.
We're at 2.5 hours.
Already?
Yeah.
Already.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does.
Phil did just pop that menthol ball.
Yep.
With your goddamn teeth. Well, how else are you supposed to do it? Like put it between your thighs and like thigh master it?
Anyway, Derek, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
The one, the only Quitalis Cowboy.
That's me.
That's him.
Yeah. With your fingers. That's no fun.
So
I'm sure the snap isn't as satisfying if you do it with your fingers.
Not quite.
What snake is that, Derek?
The Mac
Someone said doom rules, so I had to.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Those are cool. All right, y'all. We will be back Thursday for THP episode 130, I think it is. So
yeah.
It'll be a good show. Pretty excited. I'm sure we will talk to most of you at some point between now and next week. And we'll see you at Daytona if you are going. Check out Gendra at Puget Sound Pythons, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. See you later.
Bye.